Hello and welcome to episode 300, 400, 452. 400?
I can't tell you this week.
Nailed it.
Woo!
Mr. Pneumonia, how you doing?
Mr. Pneumonia.
Yeah, I was saying last week on the show I might have been complaining about jaw pain. I got a
Yes.
fever the day after, and well, a couple doctor appointments later, and Tuesday, I ended up at the ER, and they're like, "You, sir, have pneumonia. That's why you get a fever every 6 hours." Like I
Stab,
was
crackle,
getting like
pop.
102 and a half fever.
It's crazy.
So it's been pretty uncomfortable, but
You said in the
Also-
pre-show that you went to the doctor and they sent you to the ER, which is the worst news
Yeah.
you can get from the doctor.
yeah, yeah.
You need
I
to
will
go to
say-
the emergency room. You're gonna
I will say
die.
It always is, and it's funny because she actually thought, because I was complaining about the jaw pain and sinus stuff, and you can get some really weird like head stuff that's dangerous, right? And she didn't say it outright. She actually stopped herself mid sentence. She was like, "Well, sometimes you get and I remember not wanting to ask. Is all I remember. I had 102.6 fever at the time, but I remember she said something, and I was like, you know, just like thinking more about the costs and all. But I was like, I don't even want to know what that is, but she's probably right. But the point was, she was concerned because like I got antibiotics because they thought it was just a sinus infection causing a fever, maybe. But clearly it was not after literally every 6 hours, like clockwork, 102 and a half.
And you've been
fever or
sick
something.
forever.
And I was sick since January 6th, actually, when I went to Kind of Funny Day. That's where this
So
all
long.
started.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tim
those kind of
Geddes.
Mhm.
funny
That's who we're
motherfuckers
blaming.
Gotcha.
Stop going out in public, Fran.
Yeah,
Bad-
started
bad
feeling kind of
choice.
funny, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Got him.
But thank you for caring, anybody.
So how much does it set you back? Like, what's the cost of going to ER?
Oh man, why you got to bring
Well-
up America shit right now?
I mean, I'm not going to get into the details. I actually need to wait, but without getting into the details, given my arm thing, I'm really falling apart.
Ugh.
The arm thing, and
You
you all
don't
been
know
trying
half
to,
of it
let's
yet,
just
Fran.
skip ahead, right, with like how bad health insurance was. I had to decide a very high cost of insurance regardless. Regardless, I was screwed. And I ended up
Yep.
paying a lot, and I had like general concerns. I actually have not been to the ER in like 20 years, probably. I can't even remember.
You are good.
So I got lucky that I'm like, you know what? Because of my arm, I want to fix this. And like, there's other stuff that I find myself, right? We do this in America. You're like, I'm probably just not going to go. So I'm like, I'm going to get a gold PPO in this case, because with the rehab in particular on the arm, it'll help. But it's better coverage for ER, I think. We'll see. So, but I'm
I,
still
uh,
screwed because I'm
Boys yet.
paying a bunch more across the year. So it kind of just,
Yeah.
it's terrible either way.
Well, might as
I'm
well
just
use it
super
up
nervous.
then. Go see that
That's
doctor as
true.
much as possible this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
them all done.
I'm always nervous talking to my doctor now because the last time my wife went in, it was just a general checkup, and at the end of it, her doctor was like, "Is there anything else that you were concerned about?" And she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I mean, well, there's this other
Tons.
there's this other thing," and the lady's like, "Oh, that's nothing to be worried about. That's perfectly normal." She's like, "Okay, cool." And then she got a bill in the mail for 2 visits, like a special consulting
'cause
visit
you
as
asked
well.
Aw,
questions?
that's some horseshit.
Because and she's like, so she
No
called. She's like,
way.
"Why did I get billed for 2?" And she said, "Well, it's because your doctor said that you brought up an unrelated thing to your general,
Get
health."
out of here.
And she was
Good
like,
God.
it was a single sentence that
I
she
would've been like,
responded to
she
me.
asked
Also,
me.
they asked
and she
me.
asked me, and the
It's
lady was like,
entrapment.
"There's nothing I can do about it," and so I'm now
Oh.
like, if I go to the
Is
doctor,
there
I'm just gonna
nothing
plead
you
the
can
fifth.
do
How you
about it,
feeling
or
to-
you just don't care?
Yeah.
Because there's a difference.
So now when my doctor's like, "How you feeling today?" I'm like, "I plead the fifth."
Fuck you.
How you feeling? I have one problem I wish to discuss. A single one. Nothing
that-
else.
That's how it is here, though. Like, that's how it went in ER, actually. I was like, even then, I was like, I didn't know. And I asked them, well, I have a choice. Like, can you give me an estimate? They're like, yeah, let me run some numbers. And then they're like, Fran, Mirabella, the door, they was fast. Thankfully, it was not busy. So you go in, and I'm like, well, I'm already in the door. Like, clearly, there's no estimate coming. And then, like, they already started questioning me. And, like, he comes maybe probably an hour later after the tests already started. So, like, sure, he did the estimate, but there was no sincere like process of, well, we're going to check with you before we get started. And to be fair, it's an ER. I probably shouldn't
Yeah.
be expecting it, but you can relate, my American friends, right? It's very confusing what you're going to pay. And
It's
you're,
very
Oh
confusing.
yeah, they don't. Yeah, yeah.
and you ask them, and they're like, we can run an estimate, but what they don't say is, we will run an estimate. It may or may not be accurate. You'd have to check with insurance, but you're gonna have to go now or not. They won't tell you. They won't say that.
Yeah. It might
Very
be $6
annoying.
million. We don't know.
Yeah.
Just
That's our
roll the
system, man.
dice.
Just go. Just collect debt. That's what we do.
As an Australian, it's just bizarre. I mean, it's like
It is bizarre.
I can imagine from their point of view, they're like trained medical professionals not giving you price estimates. Do you know what I mean? Like their first priority should be to make sure you're not going to die on the fucking ER waiting floor.
Yeah, no,
But
But that's what it
understandable
is.
from
It
the,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you got to understand too is that the doctor works for the same company as the insurance company, so like they're in cahoots. Like,
A lot of the
they're
time,
working
they're
for the same.
a lot of the time, the doctors are on the phone like, "Hi, so my patient needs to have surgery. They're literally on the bed, and you did not approve it. They are literally going to die if you don't approve it." And they're like, "Well, probably not necessary." There's been some crazy stuff. They've recommended that you like reuse one-time use things for your health, like reusing a
It's-
insulin needle.
Yeah. People who
They've-
aren't doctors telling you
That's
that. Yeah.
definitely
Yeah, they recommend
no.
crazy things so that they don't have to pay for whatever you're asking for.
It's all crazy.
Right, sorry
It's
for
just that
bringing
this
it
is the-
up.
yeah.
Fran,
The-
get
the-
better so we can
is-
stop talking about it, mate.
Yeah,
I
it's
have
rough.
literally the fact I'm here and can laugh
Good.
and cough together. It. By the way, I haven't talked to people in like a week, so I'm gonna be. I know I'm rambunctious in general. I could get off the rails, so forgive me. But yeah, no, I'm excited. To be here. It's my pleasure.
Highguard with Fran.
It has been Highguard week,
Highguard friend.
And I will try to mute when I cough. I have my.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Yeah, you should have made some short form videos from the hospital bed about Highguard just for the virality of it, you know, because people are like, this dude's in a hospital, still laying on that Highguard.
You know what's funny, dude? And I kid you not. I thought about this today in the shower while I was getting ready. It's like, I wonder if I should post that ER photo and be like, hey, all you Highguard haters, I know you wanted me to die. You came pretty close. I legitimately was going to post this joke. I'm like, you know what? I don't need a bunch of people coming in saying like there's still time and you will die and all this. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it's not a good idea.
That could get dark, I guess.
It won't
It
land.
could, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
TV. I hear
Yeah.
you're gonna build a new mailbox out of steel and brick.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So we're heckin' blizzard conditions right now. My kids haven't
Heckin'
had
blizzard.
school in 3 days.
What?
Yeah, and they don't have, they
Wow.
already canceled for tomorrow too because we're getting like I think negative. I think it's supposed to get down to like -25, -30 wind chills tonight.
T-
So
Sure.
yeah,
TV, tell them
Holy
how
moly.
often they cancel school out there.
I mean it is not very common for them to cancel school for
Yeah.
snow here because we have trucks running all the time. Like our system's built for it.
Ready
like
for
we
snow.
could get 10 inches overnight, and as long as the trucks were able to clear enough of it before school time, they get on the buses. And I'm
yeah.
required legally to be out there and to plow my my sidewalk needs to be clear for kids going to the bus stop. So I got to get out there with my snowblower and get it done.
Is there
But,
is there a certain time allotment that you have before you're required to have that sidewalk clear? Like, do you get like a
They're
grace
pretty
period?
lenient. They're
Yeah.
pretty lenient. I only one time in my life have I ever gotten a like a paper warning from
You got a warning.
from stuck to my door from the city. And I had actually gone out there first thing in the morning and cleared everything, went to work, and it came down like I think we got another
Ooh.
6 inches while I was at work. And when I
Oh
came
my
back,
God.
the note was there, and I was like, I did it!
Damn.
Like, I did it right before I
Brother,
left.
please.
Yeah,
I would
Don't
lose
fuck
it.
around out there.
yeah, no, but that's the only time I've ever been. I'm usually pretty good about it, but and I'll do my neighbors when I've noticed they haven't gotten to it before the bus, you know,
Yeah.
and then vice versa. If I'm slow to get up one morning and my neighbor gets out there before me, he'll do my sidewalk for me too. That's just sort of what we do. But anyways, all this to lead up
That's
to tonight, we heard a nice loud crunch. We're like, the heck was that? I thought it was maybe another vehicle got stuck because I woke up this morning. I had my cup of coffee. I'm in my skivvies, and I look out the window, and there's a car stuck in the snow right in front of my house. And I was like,
because he swerved off the road looking at you in your
I
underwear.
put the snow pants on. Yeah, that's right. Put my snow pants on, went out there and helped push the guy out. But anyway, so I thought maybe that's what it was. But no, a snowplow had come through and just plowed through our mailbox. It's like completely sideways, and it's a chunky unit. All right.
Metal pole? Is it you got it on a metal pole?
No, it's wooden. It's wooden because this stuff happens enough that
classic wooden stake.
Yeah, not a stake. I mean, it's a post, just an actual post. It's not just like a stick or anything. It's a solid unit with a poured concrete underneath. But yeah,
what's your game plan now? Because now the ground is frozen. It's gonna be hard to replace that post.
Gotta wait till the thaw. So what I did is I have got a ton of snow built up where I blow it on my property. Yeah. So I got the snow blower back out and I blew it towards the mailbox, and it looks like a teepee right now of snow with the mailbox head sticking out there. So I've got snow keeping it up right now, and then after it thaws, I'll dig it out and pour some fresh crete.
That'll be some nice dad energy once the spring comes.
Yeah. What do you do with the kids when you can't go outside? Because my son Leo would go absolutely bonkers if he couldn't go outside.
My kids love video games. Snow. Like, the snow is actually super fun.
Yeah, our neighborhood kids will play in snow all the time. We've got a nice,
so schools just canceled, but you can still it's not blizzardy enough that you can go outside.
You don't want to keep them out there for too long, but all the kids around here have, layers, snow pants and coats and gloves and all that.
Snowball fights, all sorts of good stuff. Yeah,
right. So it's like a proper holiday for them. They're like, hell yeah, school's canceled.
Yeah.
Snow days feel like an unexpected holiday.
That's right. Also, my kids are they're at the age now, they're pretty self-sufficient. So I don't need to be like hands-on with them all the time. They're not as high maintenance. So I can still work, and they're readers. My kids love to read. So they'll curl up on the couch under one blanket together and read, which is great.
That's adorable.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, here in Perth, it was 41 degrees Celsius a couple of days, which is 105.
That's a make-believe number as far as I have no idea.
105, damn.
105 Fahrenheit?
105.
How many kilometers hot was it? I don't understand.
There's about 4 bald eagles, mate.
No,
that's hot. That's hot.
That's hot.
And that was only the actual core temperature, not feels like.
I don't know what it feels like. I have to have a look.
Yeah, well,
Fran, are you a big
out
feels
here,
like guy? Are you a feels like
well,
guy?
I am,
I'm
because
not a
sometimes
feels like guy.
Sometimes it's a big difference.
Yeah.
Sometimes there is like a huge variation.
There is,
between, because especially if it's like really windy, it can be like 10 degrees.
Well, you know me, I'm a bit of a science facts guy, and so to me, it's the temperature that you talk about. But my point is, sometimes people will say, where they're like, "Dude, San Francisco, it's like 101 today," and I'll be like, "Well, it was 92. It said it felt like 101, which is true." You see what I mean?
It depends.
And so people start misquoting.
Feels like.
Well, which I think you can talk about, but they talk about it in a way that it's like people start believing it hit 110 today, and then it gets all confused. Disinformation.
So I live on the coast, and depending on which way the wind is blowing, it can feel pretty cool if it's going across the ocean. But if you get it from the desert of Australia and it's like this dry wind, you're like, I am literally melting outside. It is so oppressive when you get winds coming from the desert, basically, compared to off the coast.
Yeah, awful. Yeah, but to answer your question, Briar, I say, man, it was like 90 degrees out, but it felt like it was like 99. I'll go through the whole thing if I'm talking to people. So humid, felt like 100. Wah.
Would you rather be ice cold, like TV cold, or mile and hot?
What kind of house? What kind of house and conditions of living do I have?
Let's say you just gotta. Let's say you gotta run some errands today and possibly do some outside work.
That's fine, but what do I have in my house in terms of HVAC is what I'm asking you. Insulation.
You got good heat and AC.
Oh, I like the heat, man. All about it, baby. I go out, get a tan, sweat it up.
At nighttime, sleeping. If you don't have
got great HVAC
fans and stuff.
That's why I asked. See, sleep like a baby. I'm gonna set it to 62. Woo.
Yeah.
See, I'd prefer to be sleeping when it's cold and rug up, and I'd prefer to be hot during the day.
But that's because of
but you got the best
cost
both worlds if you
and/or
have AC at home.
yeah.
Do you have
See,
air conditioners
he's not
in
even-
Australia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like everyone does. Like
Yeah,
Well,
but
I know the English don't believe in air conditioning, so I didn't know if they
Or the
passed that
Australians,
straight
yeah.
along to you guys.
they never have warm weather. That's why.
That's true.
They love warm beer as well. Well, it's funny, bro. I had the same reaction. I'm like, I don't think he's experienced what we're talking about. Mom, have you ever had the pleasure though of like at a hotel, you know, where it's like just crank it, go to bed, but it's hot outside? And if so, what do you feel like? What was your?
Oh yeah.
You know
Like,
me.
you mean having AC?
Where it's you went somewhere, or maybe you've done it at home, but like where it's been really hot, but then you just cranked down the AC and slept real nice in the cold.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
I haven't really experienced really cold stuff. I'm like, I'm fucking cold. Like I'm real cold right now. I haven't really experienced that. This just doesn't.
I've been cold in my bones, man.
Yeah, I haven't been. Maybe camping, and like you forget to bring like some really warm weather, and you have a really cold camping trip, but not. I mean, it still doesn't snow, so.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that. I would just like to quickly say that like it's some of my pet peeves and things I get into these are huge topics, maybe for a future show. But like we probably had it. I'm like temperature when I eat, you know, where I'm sitting, and also temperature going to the gym. Dude, I've gotten into massive arguments with people. Yeah.
What do you prefer when you're at the gym?
These are
Because I'm actually
huge
curious.
topics.
I would much rather be nice and warm in a gym because it like loosens up my body. If it's cold in a gym, I do not want to work out. Like
I don't like a
everything
cold
feels
gym either.
tough.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
stiff and yeah.
Yeah.
Who's arguing that?
Thank you. Tons of people. Dude, I mean, TV, do you go to a gym out there or anything? Because I feel like they're always so cold and people are just on treadmills. So they run and they love it. And they got fans blowing on them too.
Yeah.
So all that I say, if you go to the gym to like run and sweat, but you really do get overheated, that yes, I wish they had a room for you doing your cardio and all of that you could do it. When it comes to lifting weights, stretching, everything in between, yes, like you should just factually be warm.
I want to be in
limber,
shorts and
yes.
a cutoff and feel comfortable. Yeah.
And it just feels way better. It's much healthier for you. And I've had these arguments with a few people where they're on the other side. They're like, "You're crazy." Well, I've had it with my chat. None of them agree. They're like, "It should be cold."
Well, I think they just want to yell at you, Fran. Like whatever you say, they're just gonna go. I think the other thing.
In their
I do have
defense, that is a lot of fun.
I have that personality.
The worst.
The one gym that I went to actually had a really good thing where they did have a cardio room, and then they also had like a place where you could ride your stationary bike and they'd play movies on a massive screen, and it would be like really dark in there. So you could just go in, no one can see each other because it's the dark, and there's a big movie just playing.
That's
great.
Dope.
That was a good time. That was the best place.
I actually on this someday I hope that I'm just successful enough that I can start my own small gym franchise. And it's going to be
you got to be that successful to do that.
Frankie's Hot Gym.
Yes.
I know some real idiots who have gyms.
This is the point. It's very hard to have like a really stuff with all the stuff I'm talking about, like really dialed in. Usually when you get to that level, they become so expensive. Plus like just cleaning like locker rooms and being pristine, towel service, all of that gets so expensive so fast, but it would have all the trimmings.
All the trimmings.
Yeah. All the trimmings.
What's the most bougie thing you'd have at your gym?
Yeah, that's a good question.
The most bougie thing? Well, a lot of it is about like all this temperature control stuff. So that's why I'd have that room that I described, where if you're going to be in a colder room for carrying that, but bougie, I'll be on the spot. I'd have to think about
like
Fran, if I came to your
fountain.
Gym, okay.
I'll give you one. This one is actually not that many people would probably use it, but it would also be like an Instagram gym. But to control the problem, because you don't want people taking photos all the freaking time, I'd have like a set with like pro lighting. And
that's
if you
sick.
want pro equipment, and then you could go in there and you could get some shots. I would also have a separate.
But that's the only place you're allowed to take photos or videos.
Well, no, within reason. In other words,
you can have like a quick snap, but not like, They're not going
That
crazy.
would just
Yeah,
become
meaning-
like Hunger Games for content creators. They would just kill each other over the space.
Well, no, but you couldn't work out in there and create like a whole video. That would be another idea, right? You create like a set you can rent and you can do your whole. That'd be like a separate gym with like a production team. See, I can go down this road, but
Yeah.
anyway.
But what would you have to charge to like earn back your investment?
Well, I think like we're talking about, he asked me for crazy. I do think you could get a gym with some decent temperature control, clean bathrooms, and basics with a little corner actually just for like good selfies. You wouldn't be able to do all the other stuff, but like legitimately like pro lighting is not like it's not that expensive. Like considering, right? I mean, if you
That's
can't
true,
make up like
right?
a couple $1,000 extra bucks just for like a lighting setup for people to use and make sure it's not
Yeah,
like-
but you were saying like,
feel like
you
you could
going
do it for a
crazy
couple
with you
hundred.
actually had your own like studio team kind of thing.
He asked
Yeah,
me for
yeah.
that. If you want me to
Yeah,
budget that
yeah.
out, that is where I mentioned I would have to be highly successful, probably
That's right, that's
subsidize this
right.
idea for quite a while until you get like these millionaire creators coming to the gym, and then it starts to
Yeah.
pay off.
Dude,
That's right.
honestly,
Then-
clean
because-
locker rooms would be enough for me to sign up. My current
Yeah.
gym
Well-
has carpeted locker rooms, including the
Oh.
benches. Including the benches. You sit on carpet.
Oh, dude, that's gotta
Dude,
that
think
absorbs
how-
so much butt sweat.
Yes.
Dude, I think how many
so
old
much.
man's balls have just been just
There's some
going
serious
all over
chode
those
leakage.
benches.
Just yeah.
It is
That's
the
disgusting.
most bizarre thing I've ever seen at a gym. I don't
That's
use
gross.
I don't use their locker room. I just go home and shower. Like I'm not doing
Yeah, I wouldn't touch that.
that is awful.
this. Yeah.
The worst I had like temperature and training was I went to Thailand for a month to do like MMA and Muay Thai, and it is just like so hot and so humid, and you're like
yeah.
wrestling, and like the floor is literally covered in everyone else's sweat. I got like a staph infection. The ones like outside are like better because you get a little bit of breeze, but it's still humid. But then there's like stray dogs and stuff that go on the mat. You're like,
Sick.
Mylan, I'm glad you brought this up because the hottest place I ever worked out was in Thailand for my buddy's wedding. We went to a little retreat, like we rented our own place, and like it wasn't the best, but it was okay. A little like 5-bedroom spot with a pool, and then like they had like a little hut with like the gym, but it wasn't. There was no air conditioning. It was just like a couple benches, and it was pretty shoddy, and it was in glass. So it was like a roof and like a lot of like big windows, in other words. So it
Like
wasn't
a greenhouse?
I mean, it wasn't made of glass. But my point is there was a lot of windows and there's no air conditioning and it's sealed. Like it was wild. But anyway, this is how much I love working out in the heat. I only did like 20, 30 minutes, but I was like pumping iron and sweating it up. I was like, dude, I was hungover even. And I was like, I love it.
Oh, not for long. You gotta sweat that
yeah.
right out.
I'm part Sicilian, and I think it probably is just inborn at that point.
You know what I would like at your fancy pants gym is hot towels like you get on the airline. You know, you get the. I wouldn't mind a
Right.
hot towel. Like, hey,
Someone's just walking around with them, like
Right.
with tongs
On
to
like a
hand to you.
platter. Yeah.
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 Right,
yeah.
that's
Right, they could
no,
be in a
that's
box or
minor. There's way more than that, dude. There's hot towels. There's also scented
Obviously.
like vapor hot towels that you can like really like get therapeutic smells. But I'm gonna go one better. The bathroom
Oh.
floors, these clean, pristine showers. Those are heated
No
floors,
carpet?
dude. No, it's just heated marble.
You had
No,
yeah, no
it's okay.
carpet.
So the way
That's
I pay
sick.
for all this in the end, like I said, is in the end it becomes merchandise on top of all this. That's how you get there. Everybody just wants Frankie. What is it called, Wes? Frankie's hot sweats.
Frankie's hot sweats. It's like
Dude, I would
it's
buy
like
a
the
set
hot
of
honey,
Frankie
you
hot
know?
sweat right
Mike's
now.
hot honey, it's
Yeah,
Frank's
Frankie
hot.
sweat.
Yeah.
I'd buy a
Frank's
T-shirt that said Frankie's hot sweat on
games.
it right now.
Frankie's
I think you
hot
should
sweat.
call it like, I think you call it Frank and Beans, and the beans part's like your nutritional guides and that kind of thing.
We only get our protein from beans at this gym. I don't know that people are going to come.
You are gonna need some good odors in there.
Yeah. That's why you got those towels.
Diffusers.
Oh, is that lavender? God, I hope so.
Are we a
Watson
gaming
brought
brought
podcast?
up watching a movie. Yeah, whatever.
We're so far from that now.
Watch, you brought up watching a movie while you're at the gym. I actually went to see Lord of the Rings in the theater this weekend. Did
Oh,
you
did
guys
you
know
really?
that they're
Wow.
re-airing those movies
That's
in the
right.
theater? They're just as
Number
good.
one
No.
Trilly.
They are
I did
just
not
as
know that.
good as they were the day they were released. Going to the theater was so much fun. They're doing the extended releases in the theater. So the first one was 3.5 hours, which is a long time.
Yeah.
But movie theater seats, they're so comfortable now. Like you're sitting in like Barker loungers now, like lazy
Yeah.
boy seats. And like we made a decision like right off the bat, like, hey, I'm just not gonna sit here for the whole time. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna go get more popcorn. I'm gonna go pee. Like I'm not gonna just like force
Yeah.
myself to sit here for 3. We had the best time. It was really nice.
Love that.
Nice.
I got a fun story about Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
One of my subscribers was one of the orcs in it. He was a New Zealander,
No
and they
kidding.
did casting. Yeah.
Wait,
and
in the
he ended
original
up
trilogy?
being,
What about
like,
them?
one of the hero
They
orcs,
fresh.
and he gave me his playing card. He also was one of the like soldiers.
One of the
Oh, at
Elvis
Helm's Deep.
soldiers?
Wait, let us see it again.
This one. Oh, what does
Focus.
it say? It
Focus.
says, I don't know how to say it. Or all us. I don't know.
Too close. Back it off a
IORLAS.
little. Right there. See if it focuses. Stupid webcams.
But he was telling some
Lorlas?
funny stories.
Is it
that-
Lorlas?
Yeah. Well, no, I think it's an I. Capital I.
Okay.
Is that sometimes they were playing both sides, so they'll have a scene where they'll be the orc on one side, and then when they'll flip over and they'll be defending on the other side. He's like, we're fighting ourselves.
That's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I found
cool.
him. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's all I got. He was telling me about where to works and that kind of stuff, and sent me some like Hobbit memorabilia. It's very fun.
That's great.
It's really cool.
That's all I got.
I'm looking at his biography now. Sorry,
People driving
podcast
this.
listeners.
Everyone's like locked in on this.
Googling.
Yeah.
Can we get into Lord of the Rings? What
But I
games
was
we
excited
been
about
playing?
What was that?
What games? What we been doing this week?
Well, for me, we had a new season launch for Marvel Rivals with Deadpool, the new
Mhm.
character to the game. And you asked me before we started the show, there was some drama this week with a tournament. Deadpool first, very fun character, very disrespectful. Like, all the characters that kind of have their own serious vibe. Like, I mean, they're playful, but this guy's just a douche. Like you reset your cooldowns when you bounce on people's heads. So people are playing this game seriously, like trying to dial in on you and shoot you and stuff. And your character's literally going out loud, boing, boing, yeah. And I've just had some crazy clips. I've had full team wipes. I'm working on a full Deadpool guide right now. And there's just so many fun clips where I'm just bouncing off of people's heads, like 6 different people just in a circle, just going, yeah, la-di-da-dee. And it makes me think of, you ever see that clip of that streamer that went viral where she's like having a full mental breakdown, but her pet monkey is like flying through her office and
have seen
jumping off
that.
of her head
Yeah.
while she's bawling her eyes out. And I'm like, that's what Deadpool's like. Like the other team just like having a mental breakdown while you're just so unserious. His launch went great. They think the peak concurrent player count on Steam alone was like something like 225,000 on the day that he launched. And it's just a new season. The new map hadn't even come out yet. It's just one new character drops. So really, really encouraging to see those numbers. But they also had this tournament with like prize pool, cash prizes and stuff to show off Deadpool. And some of the competitive teams in the community showed up to participate. They had I think it was a grand total of 8 pro teams that showed up. One of them had some drama this week that
Were
I
they
think,
pro teams or were they just like content creators?
a little bit of both, but most of these teams, like the captains and stuff, are actually guys like Rivals has its own player ranking system in game. Like you can track the pro scene in the game
Right.
itself. It has its own tab there. You can track who the top players are, what their ranks are. You can even it's a really cool system. I always wish that Bungie had done something like this with Destiny back when I was playing a lot of that. But you could literally just fire up the game right now and go through the match history of your favorite player and watch their matches, which is a really cool feature. So, and it's all just right there in game. You don't have to go to a special website or anything. So if you were like, you fired up Destiny and you're like, I wonder what Grenader Jake's last match looked like, and you just pulled it up right there in game and watched it from start to finish. You could pause, you could zoom out and see where all the other players were at.
That.
Yeah, it's a great feature.
How does it do that? Awesome. They're just saving everyone's matches somewhere.
Yeah, it's like your last 30, everyone's last 30 or so matches, I think, are archived. So, and it makes content creation so easy because, I mean, how many times have you how many times have you like finished a match and you're like, that match was so good, why was I not recording? And then you're like,
you just download it?
Just go into my match history, and it's like theater mode, and I can just record the whole thing from my perspective. I can record the other guy's perspective as I'm jumping off of his head, and I want to be like, this is what this guy was seeing. Yeah,
from a creator's aspect, I could totally see like getting the other guy's viewpoint.
Yeah,
like right before A, they kill you, or B, you kill them. That'd be amazing for a YouTube video.
Yeah, it's so wonderful. I think that the game is just so good.
Street Fighter has that too. You can replay matches.
Yeah, I was like, wasn't Halo one of the first to do something like that? I can't remember.
You know, Halo had the theater mode.
Yeah,
it didn't
Halo did it back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day. Yeah. But anyways,
it's amazing.
So they had these 8 teams that were going to play in the tournament. One of the teams, all the teams have 6 players. One of the teams had some drama between their players, where one of the players in Australia, from on their team, so he's gonna have bad ping, is what I'm getting at. Decides he wants to play Black Widow in the tournament. Black Widow is a hit scan sniper. Is traditionally seen as being a like D tier hero, especially in the comp scene. Like, you just don't play Black Widow in the comp scene. And it's just it's a number of different reasons. She's really just for people who want to show off a bit in like quick play. But not really someone you would play if you really wanted to win. And one of the teammates was like, dude, I don't think you should play Black Widow. Your ping is going to be terrible. You're probably not going to play well. And I would really like to win this because there's cash on the line. And he was a college student. He's like, I would really love to be able to win some cash in this tournament. There's only 8 teams. Our chances of winning some cash are pretty good. I'd love to be able to help pay some of my tuition. His teammate got really defensive about it. Apparently there was some infighting in the team that resulted in the team kind of went to tell daddy, the people hosting the tournament, that the guy was being toxic, which maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. It doesn't sound like he was being overly toxic, but you can't really see behind the scenes, so no good way to know for sure. But the people hosting the tournament said, okay, well, we're going to kick him out, find a new teammate. Not the guy playing Black Widow, the throw pick, but the guy who was complaining about his teammate playing Black Widow. So they got a replacement. This guy got kicked out of the tournament. That team went on to place 7 out of 8, so almost dead last. And that particular player, I think, went he finished one of their rounds on Black Widow with 0 kills and 5 deaths and 0 assists. Yeah, it's like 050, which is terrible. And apparently his ping was a huge issue. So a little bit of vindication for the guy that complained about it, but also some redemption because he went on to just on his own live stream. I think it was like the next day or whatever. And a lot of the community rallied and just donated a ton of money to him and helped pay his college tuition for the semester or whatever. So that was that whole drama.
As an outside person looking in at this stuff, like you see it happen all the time with tournaments, and it's like 2 different types of content creators or streamers, and one is like their entertainment is being good, right? Like it's the shrouds and whatever. It's like people come to watch me, it's good. Another one is like, I'm not good, but I'm good at talking and hopefully entertaining, and that's why people like hanging out. And then you put them on the same team, it's like, of course they're gonna have
clash.
Differences in opinion. Because if I was in a 40,000 tournament, I know I'm not winning shit. So I'm just using it as a platform to talk and like try to convince people that it might be cool to hang out in my stream. Whereas he's like, I need to perform, we need to perform, and it'd be nice to have the money. And you get this like clash of, different opinions on what they should be doing. I've been lapping it up. He released like an hour video. I didn't watch all of it, but I just been reading comments and like,
dude, those videos do so well
out of the rivals community.
Yeah, man, I remember just even back when I was doing the Destiny PvP stuff all the time. Like those drama videos, people eat that stuff up if
Oh
like
yeah.
two creators or have
That's
like
the irony of all this. The irony of
clash.
all this is like this is actually what you want from a tournament. The likelihood of winning is probably low, but you just want like this. Like now, his channel's probably
Soap
blown up.
opera,
He's
man.
probably got the opportunity now and the
Mhm.
momentum to like stream more and make more content. Like it's
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
sports, right? That's sport in general. Is like you're looking for the drama. Like who cares about like a bunch of people you don't know kicking a soccer ball around? But as soon as you know the teams and the drama and the
Yeah.
history of the towns and how much they hate
That's
each
right.
other, or how long this
Yeah.
has been around, and these franchise players, that's what brings you in, and that's what like
Yeah.
makes sport fun.
It's Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, this is ironically more value than $3,000 or whatever you would have got split after the 40K.
Yeah.
Yep.
Had
anyways.
24,000 viewers yesterday. Oh my
Yeah, that's
God.
right. Yeah, his stream was popping off.
Damn.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I don't think he has any regrets.
No
Well, and the
regrets.
host of the tournament ended up issuing an apology too. They were like, "We jumped the gun. We didn't know the full story, and we kicked the guy out of the tournament without really having as many details as we probably should have, gotten."
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a
Yeah.
quick draw. On
He
that,
wasn't-
right.
He wasn't being like, from what I heard, like because I watched a little bit of it, he wasn't necessarily being rude, but he was a very typical like sweaty PvP player that was
Yeah.
being like
Persistent.
insistent, like you guys need to change, like you need to change your hero to like to be better, which
Yeah.
is fair. Like in the context of what they were doing, I think it was pretty fair. But I also see their point of view. If they're like, we just want the vibes, like we're not going to win.
Mhm.
We want to
I-
have like a good, entertaining stream.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
played with sidearms and fusion rifles in sweaty PvP tournaments and
Yeah.
never won any of them.
Yeah.
Because I was
Yeah,
just being the off meta weird guy.
His attitude was very much so like, okay, like you can try it again, but like if it doesn't work, can you please switch?
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
being
that's actually a
just
fairly
being
nice way to handle it.
persistent in asking them to switch characters. But
Yeah, you'd think that would
this
be the
player's
most
a
of it.
one trick of
Yeah.
this.
You'd think it would be the
Um,
most of it. It's like, fine, like let's do a round because you could switch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, let's just do a round. If you perform really well, hate to put pressure on you, but like we'll keep it. Otherwise, we need you to switch. Like, this is also why you need. Sorry if I missed it. Was there a captain of the team then?
There was a captain, yeah.
There was, and
Yep.
they didn't step in to well, they did to kick this person out, and I guess it was a bad call, sort of. Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you for filling us in on the drama.
Absolutely.
You want to hit the big news of today?
What's the big
Yeah.
news?
There was the
Direct.
Xbox Developer Direct. I love
Okay.
these because unlike
Yes.
other showcases where it's just like here's a bunch of games and we're showing you like little trailers of them, at the Developer Direct there's going to be less games, but you're going to hear more from the developers. You're going to see more of the game, and it's going to really delve deeper into what the game is. So this Developer Direct hit Fable. And we got a release window for Fable.
Ooh,
Game
what's
We-
the release window?
Real game.
Which is
Autumn 2026.
Autumn.
remember when I picked that last
Ooh.
week?
You
You're
did.
still in it?
It's true.
Interesting.
You're on it. That's
Interesting.
true.
And I said
Um,
August. I did say August.
That's pretty
Yeah.
close. Yeah, that's actually pretty impressive. We also had Beast of Reincarnation, which is the Game Freaks game, the Pokemon people finally set free from
Yes.
Nintendo's crooked
Grass.
True.
hands, left to
The
flourish,
Poke
literally.
hands. Yeah.
And then they
They've
also showed
evolved,
off
would you say?
Forza. They've evolved.
Oh man.
They showed off
No.
Forza, which is going to Japan. And then there was also a mystery game, which was from Double Fine, and this is a kind of quirky new take on a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
So,
ceramic
did you all watch
party
it?
game. Yeah.
I did not. I watched some trailers, and that's
Okay.
about it. So I'm keen to hear your thoughts.
I'm gonna start with Beast of Reincarnation.
Oh, of course.
Wow. So I was excited for this game because I just liked the way it looked. It's like this girl and this nature and sci-fi mixed together in like post-apocalyptic Japan, made by Game Freak. So I'm like, I'm really interested in seeing what they have going on. And it looked like, like an action RPG. Right up my alley. So today I was expecting to be excited for it, but they made me way more excited for it. So first of all,
Really?
the music is beautiful. It's actually kind of got a very Nier Automata, Stellar Blade kind of vibe to the
Okay.
music. And the combat, you do have your action combat. You've got parries, you've got perfect dodges. You can
Hmm.
knock enemies into the air, you can juggle them in the air, but they also have a little bit of a turn-based element in it as well.
Yeah,
Huh?
that was
So
what
they
got me too.
yeah,
Like,
uh-huh. It's
Really?
very like Final Fantasy VII Remake kind of turn-based thing, right? So they show her parrying an enemy, which powers up the wolf. And then you can use the wolf's ability. It brings up like a turn-based menu, like you would expect from a turn-based game.
Oh,
And then you select an ability, and then you have the perfectly timed thing like you had in Clair Obscur or Legend of Dragoon, where you're perfectly hitting the thing for when the attack goes off. So I was like, oh, this is a lot more exciting than I thought. And there's like a bunch of upgrade things that you can do for you and the wolf. There's weapons, there's armor, there's like upgrades for the weapons, for the armor. There's a lot. This game looks very, very cool.
I can't believe this is Game Freak. I'm looking at
This is
this
Game Freak.
trailer
It doesn't
and
look
I'm like,
anything like it. Yeah.
what?
you know, there's an interesting parallel, and we'll be getting to it as well in this whole show. But like Forza Playground, you know, the developers behind his Playground, they've expanded from doing Forza Horizon to they're the ones doing Fable as well. So it's
Yep, that's
interesting
right.
to
Yeah.
see this theme of like, wait, a studio that makes like a car game forever is going to make Fable, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, this one in particular, after seeing Pokemon for like decades, is why I was so excited too. I was so, you know, interested to hear what Watts was going to say. For a second, I thought you were going to be like, wasn't selling me. I was like, what? It's a, what they say it was the headline, you know, it's one, I wrote it, like
Okay.
one girl, one dog action RPG. And that's like the
Yeah.
headline they put. I was like, you
Yeah,
got me.
yeah, yeah.
A dog is what I said. I was like, this is fantastic.
Don't kill the
But,
dog, you bastards.
no, yeah,
I love the
but
vibe too. Yeah, like the sci-fi
Yeah.
mech stuff. And she's also kind of like nature and ancient
Oh.
Japan stuff going on, but also very sci-fi. Very cool.
Yeah, I looked it up. They describe it as a one person, one dog action RPG. So same thing roughly.
Whoa.
But
I
yeah, it
can't
has
believe
like a
this is Game
huge.
Freak, the same people that made Pokemon. Those games look like crap. They look like they come
Well,
out on 3DS still.
okay, I was gonna jump to this one after and ask Watts what she thinks, but I was like,
Mm.
man, I gotta tell you, I have like a little PTSD from Game Freak because this stuff never seems to run well. Now, with the caveat that it's often running on a piece of Nintendo hardware, which is always about
Yeah.
3 years
And this
behind the
not
release
coming
date in
to
terms of tech.
Nintendo Switch, let me tell you, this one
Yeah.
is not.
But looking at it, sure, it does have like trademark, like hit pause lock stuff, which that's fine. But there was something about it that still made me worry about. It's early, but do you have any like technical worries? It's like I don't know if it's running well enough yet.
Yeah, so the very first trailer, I was like, "Ooh, the frame rate doesn't look great." This
Yeah.
one looks way better.
It does.
But
It
then
looks
the
heaps better.
animation on the character also kind of makes me wonder if that's a thing they're doing. If
Right.
they're it's a stylistic choice because it's not like there's frame hitching or frame dropping. It looks pretty consistent across the board, but it kind of consistently looks like that.
Yeah, they do a lot of pause lock stuff. And to your point, though, I think you highlighted the most important thing is they looked much worse with the reveal, and they were comfortable with that. Which
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
hats off to them. Like the more we trust people with early footage, and a good product comes out later and shows you that if you were skeptical, like this is common. Which a lot of people, if you've been following a lot of games for a long time, you're like, yeah, that happens all the time. Stop whining about it. But Game Freak in particular is notorious for, you know, but again, with the caveat. So I was a little worried, but you brought up a good point that, hey, it's still early in the year. This is summer 2026.
Coming out in
So,
summer,
yeah, so they got realistically what, like 3-ish months of polish. Well, maybe a bit more, depending on when it comes out in the summer. So let's say they got to finish it up in May and it comes out in July or something. And even
Yeah.
then they can polish towards launch. But anyway, I am equally excited. I think it's the one I'm most excited about, and we'll get into those other games later. But just for a lot of the reasons that Watts says, like I'm just a big action RPG fan, but I love
Yeah.
seeing
Yeah.
Game Freak do something new. I'm really curious to see someone who is like they've made a game franchise supported something that is, it's got to be like top 5 game. I mean, easily top 5 game franchise. They've controlled, the gameplay minds of so many people. So to see what they come up with in the end, it'll be interesting. But yeah, when I saw that skill tree as well, I was like, that's really interesting because you're gonna have a play style that you can deal with,
Yeah.
and then you have all this. Was it a
Pretty
synergy
intricate too.
when
Yeah.
that pause moment happens? Watts, is it when you
Yeah,
synergize with the dog or
Yeah, I
something?
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like always turn-based, by the way, if you didn't catch that. It's like you're pairing, like Watts said, right? It's like you're doing all this stuff, and then you have these moments of decision. And so I love that there's like quite a bit going on, and it just looks
There's a
beautiful.
lot. It looks like a pretty deep game, and yeah, I'm kind of loving everything I'm seeing.
Yeah. But it does have Avatar hair in it, so I don't know if that's good or bad yet. What do you
Rude.
think about it? It's sort of, it's like, yeah, like you
There's a hair
synergize, like
skill tree.
vines. Yeah.
And her
Totally
hair
Avatar.
grows and gets, because the whole thing with this game is like it's nature mixed with stuff. So you're manipulating nature. So the wolf has something going on with like leaves and branches and stuff, and she also has something going on with her hair where it can like branch out. It can have flowers on it depending on what you upgrade and stuff. So
Yeah.
Yep,
But it looks
very
cool.
excited
Can't wait
for
to
it.
see more
When's that come
very
out?
excited. Summer.
this summer.
Oh, it's summer right now. Must be coming out.
Yeah.
No, real summer.
How
Do
does
you
it
ever
feel
see
to-
those and you're like,
Yeah.
that's not summer?
Do they have an Australian version of the trailer, or like a what is the
Coming out
Southern
winter
Hemisphere version?
2026.
Yeah, coming out
Yeah.
winter 2026.
Because they have like Piggy 18. They got that version. You get a couple of those, but you never get
Yeah.
like a. We'll give you the seasonal clarity.
No, not many places do. I mean, sometimes you get those companies that will have like the Aussie version or whatever, or like region specific trailers, but you don't see it often. Just global release.
Exciting.
Fable.
Yeah.
Any Fable fans in here?
Finally,
I played the
showed
first
off
two and I loved them
Fable.
both.
All
Oh,
right,
yeah.
you guys take it because I haven't really played a Fable. Not much.
I really enjoyed Fable 2 particularly. One of my I've like a core gaming memory in Fable 2 because they implemented this like you could do this whole system where you could buy homes, you could buy properties and rent them out to people and have like a steady flow of income as a property owner. And you could have your own primary residence, you could marry characters, NPCs, and they would be in the home, and that was a really cool system. But I remember one time I had my character marry a prostitute from was it Bloodstone? Is that the name of the city in Fable 2 that was like on the coast after you went through like the Banshee marshes and whatnot? And it was
Internet
just like
says
a ton of
probably.
prostitutes. Anyways, I was like, yeah, whatever. I need somebody back at the main property taking care of business. So I married a prostitute. And then I found this other NPC that I was like, I really like this chick. She's kind of fun. And but I've already married to this prostitute. So I went back to my house in the capital city and I told my prostitute wife, I was like, hey, I did the follow me command, and she did. And then I went out to the bandit coast and then went right into like a mob of combatants, and then I just kind of backed off. And
They call
so
that
I was like, I want to
TV.
I was like, I
Oh,
want to get rid
no.
of her, but I don't want to do it, because there's like a morality system in the Fable games, right? It's a big part. Like it changes your physical appearance if you are evil, and that was a really cool feature of that game. But I was like, I want to do something evil without being blatantly evil, so it doesn't affect my good guy, vibe that's going on. So, anyways, I had her killed. But the thing is, in the game, when NPCs like you enough and you've earned enough favor with them, they will sometimes give you gifts. And as she is being stabbed to death by like 6
Oh.
bandits, I see the notification pop up over her where she's like dying and bleeding out. She's trying to offer me a gift. And I was like, this
Oh
feels
my
so
God.
bad. Like
She
I feel
loved
like
you to the very end.
to the very end. And I have felt like a massive douche ever since.
I'm
I
watching
think
the
that
trailer
feeling is
here.
justified.
But I did marry the second girl. I got over it pretty quick.
I'm watching the trailer here, and it's showing some of this gameplay where you could romance, and you're talking to a lady, and it says dislikes you because rich tycoon as your reputations, And then it says they think you're a rich twat.
Yep.
That's like
Yep.
spot on with Fable. I'm glad they kind of kept that vibe. Like your
Right.
morality is a big part of the Fable franchise.
Mm.
And like I said, actually having it affect your physical appearance was a really interesting take that I don't think has any other game ever done that. Like the more evil you
And
act, the more evil you
Do you
look.
know about that in
Uh,
this Fable? Because they did touch on it.
Oh no. Educate me.
It's not going to physically affect the way you look.
Really? They're
the way
abandoning
people
that?
Yeah.
talk to you.
It's NPCs. So there's like 1,000 NPCs that are all handcrafted. They're all fully voiced, and they will like say stuff to you and react to you and give you nicknames and
You
all
just be
of that
walking
stuff.
through town.
But you physically won't change
Will
based
you
on
change
your
based on
morality.
other factors? Because that was
I
like a
don't
whole
think
core
so.
part of the game, but even like your diet. Like if you literally went through the game and you only ate like you did a whole fish diet, you'd look like a really fit person. But if you ate like junk food just to like top off your health when you needed it and you did it enough, like you would actually get pudgy. And you
Yeah,
could get disgustingly fat if you chose to.
the only thing I saw is they said that your decisions will not change the way you look physically.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm checking the
Yeah.
deep dive page, and there's
That's
I
unfortunate.
can't read it all, but I'm kind of searching through it, and it sort of says that no, there's no direct like physical morphing.
That kind of sounds like a
but it's
core
about your
feature of the original
reputation.
game.
Well, yeah, it is apparently. but
As someone who's
yeah,
never
like
played Fable, just listen to TV talk about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it wasn't all like to be clear, I'm not saying that I 100% supported that system, but it did make it unique.
Yeah,
It could be
definitely.
tedious at times because you had to be intentional. Like, I don't want my character to get fat, so I have to make sure I'm eating well. And sometimes you're like, I do that in real life. I don't want to do it in a game too. But it also really did. I don't know. It created this sense of immersion and a sense of connection to your character because you really had to be so intentional about every minor decision you made because it did dramatically affect that not just the way that you played the game, but the way that you perceived your own character and how they changed over time.
Did Fable 2 come out on the Xbox 360 or were they both Xbox games?
Fable 2 was 360, wasn't it?
It was 360. I can't remember.
I
It's
think
been
it
so
was.
long.
I could be wrong.
They were both fantastic games. The first one was tremendous.
So-
The second one was really fun too.
yeah,
So it's just
Yeah.
like an open world RPG, is that right?
yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
more or
other
less.
big thing. It's a
Is-
this
'cause I've
one
never
is
played
like a
it.
truly open world RPG.
Yeah, it kind of reminds you of like Dragon's Dogma 2. Is that the thing I played that one?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can see
2 was
that
on
from the
360.
graphics. But it does not
Yeah.
capture the graphical flair, I think, of the original. Like watching the trailer, like there's definitely some really cool stuff happening, but it doesn't have the same, I don't know, fairy tale look. I feel
That was
like
my favorite part of the Fable series was that fairy tale vibe you got from the aesthetic.
Yeah.
Interesting. I feel like it has that, but it has, Playguard's trademark. There is a realism to this fantasy style, I think. But I mean, you got like oversized pumpkins, and like to me, it's almost like if you went to England and they had this set of like a bit of fantasy, and it's a little glowy, so meaning it's slightly faked realism, if that makes sense. But I don't know. I get what you're saying, and I'm not disagreeing with it, but I think it's got a fantastical look. It's just a
I
little
think the
real.
world also just looks really good. Like when I see
Vibrant.
the
Good,
different
yeah.
villagers and
Yeah.
the different like swamps and all that stuff, I'm like, that's a world I really want to be in. It looks really well crafted.
It does look really pretty. I think
Yeah,
I think they've kept that fairy tale vibe pretty well, personally, just looking at some of these
That's what
shots
I
and
Yeah.
thought.
environments.
I was gonna say on the open world stuff, they say that that it's truly open, so you can explore around, and so the story. Let's see, they've written the story so although that there's stakes, your grandmother, your village, there's not like a ticking bomb. So they say there's nothing forcing you along the path because they want you to allow you have that permission to just go and do something else that you want. And so you could, as an example, go to some northern village in Albion, get a job, settle down, get married. The story will wait for you. And they think that that is really important. And that's basically it on that part.
I was literally gonna say it kind of gives me Shrek vibes. And I was like, everyone's gonna laugh at me. And then I was like, I don't know why I'm picking up like kind of Shreky kind of vibes. Like it's got that fairy tale thing to it with graphics. I was
Yeah.
like, nah, I won't
Yeah.
say it. Then I look up at
No,
chat,
you're
it
you're
kinda
right. I
Yeah.
was like,
looks-
yeah, I do kind of
like
see
I
it.
don't know what
It's
it
got
is though.
realism, but it's still cartoony fantasy.
Yeah, I think that's what's doing it. It's the realism, but it almost feels a bit cartoony at the same time. A little
Yeah,
bit
which feels
playful,
kind of
you know?
Fable. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like the goblin fellas turning into chickens and turning out of chickens and still
Yeah.
squonking.
It's not like super gritty either, like the color palette and that
No.
kind of thing as well,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Okay,
You guys
cool.
just reminded me of a weird interaction I had. That was last week, wasn't it? I was just running to the store to get something, and I was in the grocery store. I was walking down the aisle. I think I was going to get like a bag of coffee, and this lady and her little kid walked past, and the kid was kind of trailing behind. And this kid was like, not even up to my waist, little tiny tyke. And just as I pass him, the kid looks up at me and goes, "Shrek 2 is the greatest movie ever made," and then just keeps walking. And I was like, "What the heck?"
Thanks,
Hell
Wisdom
man.
yeah.
comes in all
like-
ages, I guess.
I was like, "All right,
Amen, brother.
Shrek 2, all right."
That's
Interesting.
amazing.
He's just out there to spread the good news with strangers in the grocery store.
I love that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if
funny.
you want to know on the morality side, they said they completely touched on what you said in this deep dive and said like, the original trilogy is all about that good and evil, but they say they
Uh-huh.
think the morality in video games has moved on in the intervening period, and how they think about morality in the world today is really informed how we want to represent it as a game system in this game. So that's to say, there's no objective good, there's no objective evil. Really, it's just about people's subjective opinions and what they choose to value in someone else when they make that judgment. So they're talking about in the game. So they say their version of morality isn't a sliding scale. We've chosen to anchor this around the actions you do and specifically the things you do in Albion that are witnessed by at least one other person. So if the things you do are seen by one or more, you'll start to earn a reputation for that thing. Obviously, we always use the chicken kicking example because kicking chickens is classic Fable. So yeah, if you start kicking chickens around and people see you, your reputation will be that you're a chicken chaser.
Chicken kicker.
Yeah, chicken
Yeah,
kicker.
chicken chaser is the official
Chicken
word.
chaser. Yeah. That's
I guess
the
they like
nickname.
alliterations, but so that's just an example. But like, so I don't know. I've always wanted to play Fable. I played a little bit, and like honestly, there's just this time period where I have some blind spots because I was so busy at work, not able to play games that much. I just exhausted by the time I got home, I guess. But my problems aside, I haven't played a lot of Fable, so I'm curious. With that in mind, this idea that it's more about like how you're seen, so then you kind of control that, and you're not locked into it. What do you think that sounds like to you?
I mean, it sounds like the way most games handle morality.
Mm.
Like a lot of the Elder Scrolls stuff, it depends on witnesses, right? Are you witnessed doing something wrong? That's going to affect your standing in that town and how the guards see you and interact with you. So I don't know that it's necessarily groundbreaking, but I'm glad that they do at least have that morality spectrum, even if it is looser. At least it's there, because I do think that without that, it just wouldn't be a Fable game. And
Yeah.
and to be fair, like even like Fable 2 and Fable 3, like they tried to make you uncomfortable on purpose. Like if you wanted to
Mhm.
be a goody two shoes, they would
Yeah.
specifically put you in situations where you really had to make hard choices. Like I think it was in Fable 2, there was a moment where, and it was scripted on the main storyline, so you couldn't avoid it. It was something you had to do late in the game. But you came to this interaction where you're in this underground like evil temple place, and this young like teenage girl is there, and you basically kind of help save her life, but the denizens, these all powerful entities that live in the place, are like, listen, we need to feed off of life force. She was here, we were going to suck the life out of her and turn her into an old woman and keep ourselves alive, but you're here too. If you wanted to offer yourself up, that's fine too. And they do a really good job of making this girl seem innocent, terrified, you know, like every part of you is saying, man, I really gotta like be the hero here and spare this young girl. But the catch is, and you're thinking like most games, they, you know, they bait you like this, but when you choose to do the right thing, it's like, oh, we're not gonna actually punish you for that, right? Fable's not like that. If you made that choice in the game and you said, no, I'm gonna save this young girl, you look like an old man for the rest of your game. My guy had the youth sucked out of him, and I was this old, elderly looking fella all the way to the end of the game. And I was like, I can't believe they actually did it. But that's what Fable, that's what they did. They kind of forced you into those hard situations. And say what you want about whether you like that or not. The fact is, I still remember that, you know, and
Yeah.
that was 2008.
Yeah. Well, you can't have a morality system without consequence, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Otherwise, yeah, doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. So I
It
mean,
sounds
there's
a lot
of
like The Witcher with like little plot twists or something when it comes to like making decisions. I
Uh-huh.
thought you were gonna say like the girl was really a vampire or like you
No,
know
she
some
really, it,
Okay,
it was
she was
exactly as it seemed.
right,
Yep.
right.
Innocent, scared teenage girl and you, and real
Right.
consequences.
Did
If
you
you
have
chose
like
her,
was it just
yeah.
appearance? You guy looked old, or was you like bad at combat and you had no
No,
stamina?
none of your combat stats changed. You just look like an old man.
Yeah, right.
Suddenly
funny.
everything got blurry.
What was
Walked a little
what was
slower.
that game you could lose your
Started yelling at
hand?
kids
Was it
running in the street.
was it Avowed that you could like lose your hand in, then you just be one-handed the whole game?
I don't
I don't
remember.
know.
There was a game recently that was like an RPG, and you could. There was a monster. You had to make some sort of decision. You could just lose one of your hands, and you only had one hand for the rest of the game.
Oh, dang. Sounds like something that they would do.
Yeah.
But maybe to wrap up the morality stuff, I was going to say, I don't know if it was like this at all or similar games, but the idea too is like it's settlements. And so depending on what settlement is, your reputation is different. And it's based on like this word cloud scanning through it. So bear with me, any minor inaccuracies. But I think the idea is it's like, oh, he's a chicken chaser. He's a bad landlord. He divorced his wife, you know. And so based on this word cloud, they come up with how you're walking through town and the guy's like, screw you, you know, or not. And so you can control that in different settlements. And then they use one example. I assume it's in Albion there or whatever, but you've seen it in the trailers, like this giant dude. I think that was in the first teaser. And so in this, they
Dave.
show it's like, huh?
Dave.
Dave? Yeah, let's say that. I don't think his name was Dave, but yes, Dave the giant, he he gets to be trouble, and so you're faced with the decision whether you slay him or not. And so if you do, he's gonna like fall down and like I don't know if he crushes any buildings, but he certainly causes some havoc if you kill him. And then he's there the rest of the game. And they use that as the example of like, you know, if you do that, it's gonna affect you. But they say we won't judge you, but the people of Albion will, is their whole idea.
Yeah, this game looks super ambitious, right? Like having that many NPCs handcrafted, all voiced, and they can clearly react to you in completely different ways. You can own houses, you can own businesses, you can hire people, you can there's so much that you can do, and I think combat also looks pretty enjoyable from what I'm seeing. So yeah, looks
Looks
really
nice.
ambitious, and I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, and we didn't really talk about the combat at all. I think there'd be a lot more you could get into, obviously. But I will say they showed quite a bit of the combat, and you know, it's hard to say, but they showed it's very melee heavy, you know, heavy combos, mid combos, whatever, with some magic casting, with some range choices. So it's kind of got a little bit of everything going on. I think I would end on saying it's one of those you watch, you know, in these slices starting to look pretty good, but we've also seen stuff like this where when you see it in pieces, it looks like that E3 demo and it looks pretty cinematic and good, but let's see like it actually in action still. It's hard to tell. That's how I felt.
Yeah, I came
Well, I'm just
away
trying to think.
feeling like this is a big game and it's shaping up to be
Yeah.
looking
Yeah,
really
that's
good.
cool. Yeah, that studio rocks, as we'll talk about maybe with Forza, but
I
we
was
talk
just
about
thinking back to
Forza?
like Dragon's Dogma, the release of Dragon's Dogma 2, is that right? And kind of had a lot of similar elements, but then released poorly from memory just because of like performance kind of killed a lot of it for
It
me.
did have performance
So like
issues.
when you
Mm.
start thinking about these kind of games, like I just hope it releases in a good state because it looks like it's got all the elements for a really fun, like open world RPG. You know?
Yeah.
Shall we go to Forza? The other games that these guys are making? Briar, have you seen the Forza stuff? You're muted, I think. You're
Briar.
muted, Briar. I think you're muted.
They got him.
Oh, they finally got him. The
got
FBI
him.
is descending into his. He can hear
Soon
us.
as
Oh,
Forza
no.
came up.
I'm getting a private number call right now. What the hell?
Oh
It's a ransom.
no! Uh-oh.
Should we just move on to the
We can
topic?
just
while
we
he-
can talk Forza. So Forza is going to Japan finally, a place that people have
Oh
wanted
my
Forza
God.
to go for a very long time. And I've played like driving games before, but it's usually been like the street versions, you know, Need for Speed, you know what I'm talking about back in the day.
Oh yeah.
But watching this, I was like, first of all, so you have the tracks, right, where you can race, but you also can just drive around Japan, going to rural villages or wherever, and you can just drive around and experience, like, these guys make really beautiful games and experience how beautiful it is. You can build a whole base that you can customize, and you can invite your friends over, and you can upgrade your garage and decorate that as well. So there's a ton of customization options that you can do as well. And then the thing at the end of this trailer shows a Gundam foot just like coming down, and that's where they cut the trailer. So they're doing something with Gundam too. I don't know what's going on, but
Yeah, I
Gundam's
think
in
they
there.
chat will probably help. So I think they've done past like event collaboration or something. So I don't know. I didn't have time to look into it, but that was like a cool little end. Like it actually is really well done from the production side, where it like shows the new car, the GTR, whatever it is, which is a very nice looking car, Japanese, I think, and it's like. You hear this bassy, but the camera's tracking over the hood, and you're like, "This is a sweet car." And then you hear like a rumble, like Godzilla's there, and you're like, "Is Godzilla in the game?" And then it shows it's Gundam, so it's pretty cool. Yes, this is on my what's the game critic fantasy list? Is that the right way to say it? This is one of my picks, which genuinely, people may not actually know this, and I wouldn't believe me. I don't know if I've covered it. I love racing games. Watts hit it with like Need for
Really?
Speed. Before that, like I was huge into Gran Turismo originally. I think a lot of people were on PlayStation, like just the detail and just the science behind it, and getting a driving wheel. Oh my God, I was addicted to trying to get a license in the game, and all that stuff. Then Burnout. Totally hooked. I was addicted to
Burnout.
like that.
That's the one I played.
So
lot.
fun. 1, 2. I brought it up before. I'm in the credits of 2 because like I was doing preview coverage so much, and it was really just like a thanks for the preview coverage. Technically, they should have gotten approval, and it's well, I didn't review it, but the point is, it's nice to be in the credits. I had nothing to do with it. But long story short, love racing games. I am excited. I will have to check this one out since it's on my list. But Japan, I love. This team, I love. I mean, one of the things that stood out to me in it, beyond just it looking awesome for being in Japan, and like I dream of Japan all the time. I think they said it was 5 times. I don't have it in front of me. Help me out though, chat, if you see it. But I think they said it was like 5 times larger than the previous game or something. So like just the idea of roaming around as I want, in this huge area of Japan sounds so fun. And then of course
Do they have an open world section where you can race in a straight line and then do one lap at the end?
No, you know what they have instead? Mine? You can
What?
ride around the whole country,
Yeah.
all of it,
Go
beautiful,
see
wherever
Mount
you
Fuji,
want.
dude.
You can drive to Mount Fuji.
Ooh.
But another cool, like you're doing just roaming around, but then you're gonna have like a little like land spot that is a place to call your own, and you're able to like build it out into your own little tiny little village with stuff. And then like your friends can come in, and it's actually visitable with them in their cars, and like you can go on night drives and all this stuff that you would expect from Forza Horizon. So at least at a glance, it looks really cool. So I don't think anybody's surprised that this team has another amazing looking Forza Horizon 6. But I also am not, as much as I love these, I am by no means the expert of like what people are looking for in the sequel. So let us know in the comments, you know?
Yeah, I know nothing about Forza.
Excited.
Nothing.
I know nothing either.
Yeah, it's fun. Fun as frig. It's the Forza to try if you've ever wanted to try Forza, right? Because the proper Forza there is very simulation and realism heavy, you know?
Yeah, I'll have to ask my father-in-law if he watched, because he's a carpenter by trade, but he loves cars.
Man.
So he has built his own like sim
Driving.
setup. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got in his basement. He's got his whole like handcrafted seat and wheel and all that business with the monitor. So I'll have to ask if he checked it out.
Yeah. So this is Watts, correct me if I'm wrong, the only one that got a release date, May 19th, 2026. I think it's the only one of the.
Yes.
Yeah. So the first one
Yep.
to hit. And premium, I think, access is a few days earlier. They're doing that whole thing. So good luck if you're going to do Game Pass day one, but you got to have the right. I don't even know how it works. Even as I say it, I'm like, you know what? I don't even know how it works to play early access because is it day one? I think. Guessing. So if you want to play on May 15th as opposed to May 19th, look into it. So yeah, excited about it.
Nice.
Hope it scores well. That's a joke, obviously, because I would never root for scores one way or another. But for Game Fantasy Critic, I'm going to have to place a few bets.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So is
What
Briar?
else? What else was there?
Yeah, if you're
He's gone,
if you're
man.
watching, Briar's mic cut out. He started tapping it and looked
He's
very
gone.
confused after. And now I was like, it's just playing footage of Forza, and then it's cut back to us now. But Briar
So
is
he's
off, so-
he's producing. He's
He's
producing.
conscious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Briar
he
is
still hears
behind the
us.
cam, not in front of the cam. So
Okay.
there you go. There you
I
go.
would love to move on and talk about Highguard because would you guys be able to have that? Otherwise, I don't care. We can do it at the end.
Hold on. Was there any other games from?
There was
Xbox?
the mystery
forgot.
game that was by Double Fine. This is a multiplayer game, but the way that it's different is that you can actually like join a lobby with your friends and you can make pottery. But the pottery that you make is essentially like the class that you end up using in the actual multiplayer game. So you can make a super tiny dish and they'll be very fast and very quick. You can make a big tank and they can carry a bunch of water. And one of the modes that you're doing is you're collecting water and then using that water to put out the enemy's kiln. And then there's ones with like teacups and handles and spouts and stuff. So and you can fully customize these clay pottery things that you're putting together, and it changes the way that you are in the game.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
you actually
I thought that was pretty cool.
you pull the pottery on a wheel. They
Yep.
give you some tools, and they said, "Look, we want to like make this accessible." You guys may not know this, but I took 4 years of ceramics in high school.
Oh,
and it was
wow.
Like it was the only art that I could do. Art.
I
but
can imagine you doing it, Fran. Just saying.
It's a real what's the Patrick Swayze Demi Moore movie? Ghosts. Yeah.
Ghosts.
That was right. It was like that. Not at all. Unfortunately, it didn't play out as I thought it was going to. But anyway, 4 years of ceramics, and I love it. And so the idea that, of course, Tim Schafer, they have these little, what do they call these little fortnights, 2 weeks of, when you forget, amnesia fortnight. So that
Oh,
they,
yeah. Yep.
I forget exactly how he said, but we have these like little, like you just start throwing stuff at the wall for a couple weeks. And this is what came out of it. I love Double Fine for this. I mean, they're so legendary, from Psychonauts to Brutal Legend to, many things before. But the fact they're allowed to do this and quickly iterate and all, it's really interesting to see. So they just did Keeper last year, which is last year. Really, this was only months ago. I encourage you to check out Keeper. You walk around as this like wobbly lighthouse.
It's silly
Check out
looking.
there. It's cool.
So
It's very visually satisfying.
You fight other people. Is that the story?
Yeah, it's a multiplayer game.
It's a party game where you
Yeah.
pull your pot.
Multiplayer as in like cooperative or as in like against
You,
PvP.
me,
players?
Watts.
PvP.
PvP. Yeah.
against, say, Briar TV, someone else, or I don't know.
Right.
if
So I'll
it's
be like,
TV.
yo, we need a tank. I'll make a fat
Yes.
pot.
Yeah.
Precisely.
And there's like different maps with different
Dude, that's
objectives. So
so
you're like,
interesting.
oh, we're gonna have like 5 really small plates and be super fast for this one.
And there's
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
mechanic with to do with carrying water too. So like
Yeah.
your pot
The
design
goal-
carries water differently.
Yes.
The goal is
Yeah.
a little bit tower defensey, where, or really,
Yeah.
you know, there's a goal on each end, and it's a kiln. The kiln is where you put your pots in with the glaze, and you
So
fry them up.
unique.
So anyway, you got to bring as much water as possible as a team there, and fight your way there, and pour water into the kiln. And so yeah,
Yeah.
like in any
That's
other
so
world,
funny.
that's what I was getting at. I'm like, I feel like in any other world, like I don't know how you'd get this through, but I love that Double Fine is part of Xbox, and I, you know, it's so weird to
It
see
looks
stuff
kinda
like this,
fun.
and yeah, and like what was it, 2 years ago? Like Hi-Fi Rush came out, and then like they canned the team, and like I don't know how stuff works over there. This is probably
Yeah.
much less expensive, but still, the point is we should be happy that it's happening and check it out when it comes out in spring.
Yeah, in
this
a
kinda feels
world of
like-
no, go ahead.
I was just saying, I think we're gonna say the same thing. It kind of feels like, you know, like every movie feels the same, and every now and then you get a move that's like really unique. You're like, I just respect it for just being something I never would have thought of, never would have
Sure.
seen it as a game, and you're like, I'm gonna check it out for the sheer fact that this looks interesting.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. In a world of every multiplayer game we see going like, oh, this looks so generic, to have something
Hero
that is
shooter.
so unique.
Yeah.
And that's a good
It is.
segue to Fran's favorite game
Pretty hero
ever.
shooter.
Man.
Ever. Fran's favorite
Stop
game.
it.
Every
Stop
time I'm on
reporting
YouTube, they're talking about Fran.
Fran Mirabella.
Every time.
This
Reporting
clown
from
from
his
IGN.
deathbed. Reporting
Yeah.
from his deathbed. I would like everyone to know before I die of pneumonia, Highguard is going to release. I'm not going to see the release of it, but it's going to
Yeah.
release to critical acclaim.
I never said it. I mean, it's a joke now, but yes, we should talk about Highguard because there's some interesting developments.
Mhm.
It's
Is
funny.
there?
I even asked on X, you know, not everybody's favorite, but I asked Grok, you know, I was like, is Fran Mirabella? I asked myself of Grok, has he ever said anything positive, endorsed this game will be successful or good to play? Yeah, I never have, but just talking about this game really pisses people off. But I got myself into that hot water because of 2 separate issues, which I won't get back into the weeds on that stuff. But it was really just people were upset because they don't want to be fed marketing slop. And like, I actually understand that. But I was like, can we please just play the game before we like doom the studio and like flip out? Like, we haven't even seen that much. But anyway, so all these latest developments, there really haven't been any because Wildlight Entertainment, the studio, is not doing any marketing. I'm one of the only people out there doing it, which is fascinating.
You're their whole
and
marketing department.
And it's not actually their whole marketing department is the hate. People keep talking about it. They won't shut up about it. They're like, dude, I can't believe they're so silent. This has been for all of January, really. Can't believe it. Something's wrong. Got to be canceled, bro. And so it's funny. That really is the biggest marketing. Whether or not it's good marketing, I don't know. Obviously a joke that I'm doing marketing. I'm not. I'm just interested in the people behind it. I'm interested to see more. I don't even play these types of games anymore that much, but I played a lot of Apex, and I sure as frick love Titanfall. And I've had some moments in Warzone. So anyway,
Yeah.
Fran caveat stuff away. You know me. This all there's enough details that I wrote an article today. You can publish articles as part of like X now if you have like that feature. But I do this every once in a while. So I went through based on a trophy league. So people are out there saying, like, what is this game then? Like, why are they so quiet? It's hero slop, right? I still don't know, but there's a few details in the trophy leak if it's accurate. So there's a site called Exophase that syncs trophies, and apparently it syncs something with PlayStation. Hadn't been pulled. Yeah, and it's a list of 33 trophies. And boy, it really matches the footage. It doesn't seem like written, like fake. Like it's really fascinating to see how it hasn't been pulled. But the only place that I've seen it available is Exophase. That's not really like confirmation, but they sync. Secondly, though, the most important part is I actually let it ride overnight. Not only did I feel bad, but I'm like, IGN is not writing about this at all. GameSpot's not writing about this at all. I can tell you, I worked there for almost 2 decades, and I've been in the business for a quarter century. And like, you're scouring for news when you're that big of a site. The only sites to write about it are not like quote unquote that big. So in other words, it's very clear to me that I think they got invited. I'm gonna guess last week. They're under NDA, and so what happens when this goes out like this?
Yeah.
It's in your NDA for the company, not the person who attends the event. And so you got to go back and ask PR, look, can we write a story about this? And my guess is they told them no, let it ride. Like, we just don't want to even like address it. So the fact that they haven't published it, there's a small chance they're not interested, but I'm telling you, they're looking for stuff to write.
And
To
just
me-
to touch on that, I've heard people saying that they've seen like little videos or shorts or whatever on Instagram and stuff of people having videos at some event, content creators in the background, lots of people saying that they're going on a flight.
Yeah.
And there does seem to be some very credible information that there are people today or, like earlier this week and next week who have all been playing Highguard at some point. So when that comes out, I don't know. Maybe they're going to drop it all on the 26th, but yeah, it appears that they are having people to play the game.
Any names that came to mind that you think played it, but not sure.
I don't know.
Couldn't
Yeah,
say.
I'm not sure.
Maybe Watts knows. But
Watts
anyway,
has
my
played
point of all this was, and we
I
should
don't.
just
I ain't going. I don't get invited to shooter things. I have transcended. I get invited to everything that's like action RPG. Not everything.
Yeah.
That's a lie. That would be nice. But
Monster
I get invited to
Hunter-y.
Capcom will invite me to
etc.
everything.
Yeah.
But then like any kind of action game, Crimson Desert, Koei Tecmo will also invite me.
Yeah.
You know,
So
those
anyway,
games.
all that
Those-
setup was because it led me to be like, I already thought it was probably reasonably accurate, but it seems to add credibility to the trophy details that I'm about to give you, and some really gameplay details. Because if they're not publishing it, it probably means these are fairly accurate because they can't talk about it. So anyway, to skip to it, obviously it confirms, well, yeah, there's class types. Shocker, assault, defensive, recon, supportive, the destruction. Again, this is coming from a trophy list, achievement list. They could always replace that on, Sunday or Monday. But a couple things stood out to me. It says win 5 raid mode matches in under 10 minutes. So I'm like, wait a minute. I was thinking it's a raid shooter. You're going to be like 20-minute matches for a raid. So I'm like, that's interesting. But then it says the shield breaker item starts raid. That's an achievement. Get the shield breaker to start a raid. So I'm like,
Can you, Fran, real quick, for those who don't know what a raid shooter is, could you touch on it? Because people are like, what the hell's a raid shooter?
I mean, this is why people are frustrated. I don't know if you're asking me sincerely or you wanted to put me on the spot that people are frustrated by, which is it's not really a thing. And so
maybe their new breed of shooter, they weren't lying. Maybe they weren't lying.
I think as you hear this stuff though, that's why.
Sorry, yes.
I'll be very curious to see what you guys think it is, because I think in part you're like, well, it's kind of like an Apex-y hero shooter with these other elements. I'm not that surprised.
I read your article. It is exactly what I said it is.
It reminded me. We talked about it on the show even. And I said, what if there's a vendor? And blah, blah. But anyway, their description is the only thing we have to go on. So PvP raid shooter, where players ride, fight, and raid as wardens, gunslingers, battle rival warden crews for possession of the seal breaker, break into the base. We all saw that in the trailer.
Yep.
So anyway, the shield breaker starting the raid and being able to do that, like 5 of those in 10 minutes. And I paired it with some new screenshots that, by the way, I think flew under the radar under Steam. You should check them out. For those wondering, I have an article on my Fran Mirabella X page, but you can find other articles on Google, I'm sure, or just head to Steam for the screenshots. But I have it all in there too. But what's interesting is I was like, I think you're going to be roaming around fighting something or people, like to get to a shield breaker before a raid even starts. That's another thing. So it looks like fairly open world. I'm thinking like an Apex map. Like, okay, I'm riding around on mounts.
Yeah, kind of what I saw, because I've watched this trailer so many times talking about it. To me, it looked like it was a map like Apex, right? Like very kind of BR map, but you also have these kind of points of interest that you're going to be fighting over the other team to get. And then I assume when you get like X amount of these things that you win, or maybe it's one of them or whatever it is, you get this thing that allows you to then have this big tank that pushes into the enemy's base, and that's kind of like the final stand,
Yes.
right, of you versus the enemy team. And yeah, it seems
Yeah,
like
but
that's what it is.
right, and again, that's what threw me, Watts, because I know you probably
Yeah.
were thinking like me. You're like, yeah, I kind of get it, like riding through, getting some stuff. You get to the end of this. I was thinking it'd be 20, 30 minutes. But then it's like win 5 raid mode matches in 10 minutes. Maybe it's a typo. Maybe it's temporary. So we should keep that in mind. One other thing, get the big rig LMG to destroy iron walls. These are just subjective things that stood
Yeah.
out to me, but I have more. Core gameplay, things we already knew. See, surely has revivals. It's got mounts, though. There is a screenshot on Steam that I didn't remember a number of these, but there's like, we know it's 3-player base for the team, but then they all had like several different mounts.
Yeah, in the
There's a
trailer, there's like a
horse,
horse, a bear,
a Black Panther or something.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
it's not just horses. It's
No.
interesting. There's an enemy base. We already know that. There's an overtime status. There is an axe melee or something because it was like, do this with your axe. I'm assuming it's an axe melee. Maybe I'd think about that twice. Ultimate powers, not that surprising. But then it's got loot, rarity of loot. There's legendary, there's rare confirmed in this trophy list. And in the match, there's going to be loot chests. And then a vendor where you can go use this Vesper currency for rarities. Anything on that from you, Watts?
Sounds like a BR.
Yeah. Oh, a BR? Really?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it sounds like in Apex arenas, we had some of that. Well, really, my only reaction to that, sorry, Watts, was like, do you think that there will be any kind of pushing you towards a center, like Night Rain, or,
I don't know. I think I don't know if they're gonna have like the circle closing. I think it's kind of more of a thing of like, if you don't go to this area and fight over this objective, you're just gonna lose the game. So like, you have to go to these objectives and do these things to either get more powerful loot or to get the thing to like get the big tank to break in. But you're not gonna want to just like skirt the outskirts and
Yeah.
It kind of sounds like a BR mixed with the first-person MOBA,
That's what a
Like-
lot of people.
where you
use that word.
have, I guess, heroes that you want to level up to some extent, whether that's getting gear. I don't know if their abilities level up or like, there's like a preparation stage, right, that you're fighting over before you get to pushing their base to, win the match.
Yeah. But the fact that I was wondering, I was like, are there multiple bases or like there's just this phase in an open area where you get the shield breaker and then a team kind of goes to defend? Or, I don't know.
no, it's like
It's
your
a-
base versus my base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But
what
then
I'm
there's
thinking.
a raid once you get.
And what? So there's
Yeah.
3 people per team? Is that what you said?
Yeah, we do know it's 3-player based. I'm pretty sure that was already confirmed in just the original thing. Again, the thing
telling
that
you.
if go ahead.
I'm telling you, this game, people are gonna play it. It's gonna have really good shooting, really good movement. The abilities are gonna feel good. It's gonna be chaotic because they're kind of forcing you to go to these points and fight over something. And people are gonna go, this is kind of fun. It's a little bit, this is
Yeah.
a little bit of fun. I
And-
predict that people are gonna think it's fun. Whether that means it lasts forever, whether that means it finds like a core player base that they just want to play that or whatever, we do not know. But
Or
I
if it
think
can
people are
pay
going
for
to play it
itself.
and they're going to,
Dude.
yeah, I think they're going to have fun.
Do you know what I
Yeah,
really
I-
liked that died? Battleborn. And if it's
Yeah.
got any element like Battleborn, I'm like, I'm in, man.
You're in?
I really
You want to
How
play?
long-
You want to play, Mylan? Let's group up. Let's all play Highguard.
I do want to
I mean-
play. I've got bad news. I got bad
Uh-oh.
news.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
we already
I'm
know.
gonna
You're
this
having
is-
family
another
holiday.
kid.
I got a
Another
family
holiday? Stay home, Mylan. You're on holiday every 5 minutes.
Tell my wife.
Hold on. She pays the bills. She can go when she wants. You go there. You look after the kids. You let your wife have her holiday.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought up Battleborn because like you hit the nail on the head with that whole topic, which is separate, which is like we're not talking about whether or not the game's going to be successful. I have to keep
Right.
having this conversation. People like tie success to like it's good or bad, and it's such a dumb 0 or 1 like binary thought process that like it validates them when they play like the 5 most popular shooters or games of the year or whatever. And they're like, well, everything else is trash that I think is trash because like, you know, not enough people bought Prince of Persia. So clearly, people didn't say this about it, but they could easily be like, dude, nobody likes platformers anymore. They're dead. They suck. And those are very different things, you know?
All I'm saying is it needs to last longer than Concord. Otherwise, the servers will be closed before I get home,
Yeah.
okay? So if we want to play, it's got to live
It
longer
will.
than 2 days.
It will. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I haven't played it.
It
If
will.
I had played it, I wouldn't be here right now because I'd still be flying back from California or whatever.
I've made it very.
It's
Oh,
gonna
go
be
ahead.
fun. I think it's gonna be fun. I think people are gonna play it and they're gonna think that it's fun.
Yeah, Watts is saying more than I've ever said in that, and I love it. You know, like meaning
Cancel
can
it.
we be?
Cancel
Simon
it.
Carty at IGN wrote an article that
Quote
said,
me.
Can we stop dunking on games?" It was the Fran article, and Simon Carty's great, by the way, if you know him. And it was pretty flat. He's like, "Can we stop dunking on games before they're even out?" You know. And one line I loved in that article was like, it was something about like, can we not be excited about games anymore? Like, where's the excitement gone? Like, it's not allowed, you know. So that's how I feel. Like, is it not okay that Waffles is like, I don't even play these types of games, but like, it sounds like fun, and these guys know what they're doing. So, yeah. You know, but it's like, no, you know, you can't let a colorful hero shooter out the door. It's going to ruin the industry. And like, that's a different discussion, man. Like, let's play the game and find out. But
I understand seeing something, and like I said, I didn't love the art style that they went with. I don't really
Yeah.
like the look of a lot of the characters, but I think the gameplay, the moment-to-moment gameplay, will be fun. I think people will have fun with it.
And I was bouncing off that. I was going to say, like, look, I'm not going to make any like bets on any of that yet because people at this point now, I'm a hot target if I say anything in terms of betting on quality or success of the game. But I will absolutely guarantee you, and I basically said it with my first reaction, like, there's nothing like Concord. There's nothing, it's unprecedented, that situation.
It's
So
unprecedented. Yeah.
it's a meme. I get it. But if you seriously believe that these people, the head of the studio created Call of Duty, like helped usher Guitar Hero forward, helped found Respawn, Titanfall, but you think that they're so dumb that they can't even make something like okay. My point is they may be too late, but like they're not complete idiots. It is a quality team. But
Well, I cannot wait for your justice, Fran, where you can take to the internet and say, looks like you should have waited, experts who know when something's going to be bad.
But I don't know
By
if I
the
can
way,
be.
keep an eye on all the content creators who have been like really, really gung-ho on it being bad. And if they end up before it comes out going, you know, guys, it might be okay. You know, maybe.
Well, you know what's funny?
That's right.
I don't know. I do want to finish the 5 bullet points on this, but on that topic, it's funny. I saw Luke Stevens, you know, who did a couple videos with my tweets so far, and like he's been like half objective, but he's also like any content creator. When you're live, you just highlight the first half of a sentence and react, and like again,
he's also a child, so we can't trust him. He hasn't been in the industry long enough. Get another 10 years in ya, buddy. And then we'll
I don't know. My point is he'll like he's victimized me in a way of being this dude that's like, right, I'm glazing it a bit and I'm saying it's I'm like, I've never said that. I had this one video that was like a hot take, and even then I never said. But anyway, he said of Marathon, it was fascinating in the same breath of saying like, stop telling us to like what we don't like with our own eyes. And in the same breath, it was like quote unquote, he started talking about Marathon, and he had to explain the chat. He's like, actually, well, they showed me more. So I'm actually a little more excited now because they showed me more. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I was like, holy, no way. You're in the same video. You're going to say that they showed you more Marathon, so you're willing to see more? I can't even watch this anymore. So it just seems so like rage bait YouTube stuff where it's like, I get the content game, but can we just be real with each other like
Frank,
humans?
can I make videos about you? Because this sounds like content, man. I might need some views lately.
It's so much drama, but I've profited negative dollars, you know.
It's because you haven't been streaming. You could have been plugging it. Say, biggest Highguard chill live now.
Well, I actually wanted to. I still may.
Only.
I wanted to put
a hat
out
that says Highguard's biggest fan. And you should wear it.
Oh, yeah.
There's a
I
lot
wanted
of
to do a
plans
video
with-
that actually was commentary on this, and it could happen, but anyway, finishing things up, we ended on some vendor details. A lot of this is, again, not super surprising. There's some new screenshots that honestly like look a lot better than some of the stuff you saw in the trailer. So, you know, we'll see what it really looks like in action and where you can go. One of them was fascinating too, where I was like, it's this whole area that's like ice, just like a glacier. There's nothing else. You're like at the top of the mountain or something. And I'm like, it's definitely interesting looking at certain moments. But to finish on some final details, it has wall destruction. We already know that. You can destroy those enemy soul orbs. So there's that. Obviously, you can't just kill people. You're going to need to cut down those orbs. And then I had talked about this early on. There's generators. Obviously, you saw in the trailer some guys like cranking something to put on there, like a bomb. But you can defuse or sabotage them. The dome splitter item is what allows base entry. So I was wondering if that giant Thundercat tank is the dome splitter. I don't know.
That makes sense to me.
But the last thing that was interesting that just, again, adds more roundness to like, oh, there's real gameplay here, is when you get into a base, you can obviously kill that team and I think take over the base and you're done. But there's something called the anchor stone at the base that can be destroyed. So you can get to somewhere else or something to like get to this anchor stone and like destroy the power of the base and you win as well. So if this is all accurate, sounds interesting. Can't wait to see some more. Thoughts?
Yes.
Anyone else?
I will be playing it on the 26th.
Yeah, I'm going to check it out, obviously.
I'll play with you guys when I get back, which I
When are you
think
back?
is Wednesday for you. Yeah, Wednesday for
If
the
it
28th.
if it lasts 7
For
days.
the last 2 days, we can play.
Oh, okay. It's only a couple days after. So anyway, it's fascinating. I do, by the way, I expect there to be some more leaks going into Monday, like Apex, which was a true shadow drop. I believe it
Yeah.
was like a couple days before, even maybe there were murmurs before, but like it started to leak that Respawn was working on something. I wouldn't be surprised. Like people can't keep their mouth shut. So
Well, should we
Yeah.
talk about games that were judged early and jump to Marathon?
Yeah, that's a little bit of marathon. Yeah,
Because they've got the... Wait, we didn't have the release date last week, did we? The
I
release
don't
date
think
was
so.
this week.
No.
Yeah, March 5th.
Collector's
March
edition. all.
5th, collector's
March 5th.
edition.
Early... Oh, don't get me fucking started.
People have a
now
theory.
you started me. Dude, the web... just
Wait though, Milo, before
classic-
the
Go on.
collector's edition, I just want to note people say there could be something with March 5th and the 5 like an S that it's Mars and there's Mars lore in the game. That's a theory. Anyway,
God damn.
I
Classic
gotcha.
Bungo, their webpage for the collector's edition is utter trash. You like click on, you firstly select like, okay, Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, right? The collector's edition. You're like, okay, so it includes the game. And then into the description, it says game is not included. I'm like, what? And then there's another collector's edition that doesn't include the game. It's like they've copied and pasted the collector's edition description from the one that doesn't include the game in the one that includes the game. And then there's just this confusion online whether the collector's edition actually includes a digital copy of the game or not for like
Yeah.
$260. It's like, Bungie, what
Game
are you
editions,
doing?
dude.
Better
What are you
be.
doing?
Well, this is a very
Like-
Sony thing. It's very common for Sony collector's editions to not have the game.
Right.
At least this one has the option of having like if you just buy if you want to play like day of it dropping, maybe you want to buy the game like on your PC, right? But you also want the
Yeah.
collector's edition, so you don't want to get the one
Yeah.
with the game and then you got two games.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't help that the website is confusing about it.
Yeah, and then it's like literally a help fact page that tries to make it easier. I was like, you know what?
Oh, you know what was funnier, Mylan?
What?
When you pre-ordered Marathon, it installed Destiny 2.
I heard this.
It was so funny. There was a bug where you pre-order Marathon and it just installs D2.
That's amazing.
Like Bungie
So
has the
synergistic.
funniest
Funny
bugs.
Why
I
didn't
gotta
anybody
give it
else
to
think of
them.
this? This is genius, really.
Right.
I mean, that's classic Destiny too, isn't it? That's classic.
It is
Bungie
so
fucking-
classic. I
Just-
actually think that's great.
Oops. People be like, "Why's Destiny in my library?"
Maybe I'll try it
Looks
out.
like you gotta play the Destiny 2 before you play Marathon. You know, gotta get up on the lore.
Yup.
It's really
Yeah,
funny.
how do you even manage that? Well, I mean, what do you think? I mean, I think Bungie often is pretty good with the collector's edition, though. Like, they're often pretty quality and
I gotta
Oh, it looks
say,
dope.
this collector's
yeah.
edition. So if anyone hasn't seen it, you're basically like in the packaging, going through the process of 3D printing the shell thief. So it starts off with like the beginning of the 3D printing, and then you open it, and it's like a little bit further along, and it's kind of got that holographic stuff.
Mhm.
And the statue itself has like resin that the character is in that to make it look like they're standing in water, and there's lights
Yeah, I saw
underneath
that.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty freaking cool, man. I gotta say,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah, it
pretty
looks really
good.
nice.
Because we've been talking about Marathon a bit and I watched the trailers and stuff, some of the old like alpha clips came up. I don't know if you've gone back and watched some of the older footage.
Have you?
My God, it looks like trash compared to what
Yeah.
we haven't
It's
actually
you're
seen
absolutely
the
crazy.
game
right.
now. But
Closed
it
test
looks
alpha.
it,
Yeah.
it does not look I know it's
It
alpha
looks
test,
very
but still
different.
people played it without NDA and man,
I know. Goes to
it
show
did
you,
not
though.
look good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, they've made a
But they have
big improvement on the environment, which was one of the big parts of feedback. Was just it did not look good outside of indoor areas, and even indoor now looks it feels like it has that spooky vibe that actually matches the music now, which is this like
Yeah.
sci-fi, not horror, it's like sci-fi suspense, creepy thing going on, and it actually
Right.
feels like it matches the soundtrack now, whereas before it was like
Yeah,
this
it's
is
got a cinematic
colorful
gloss
palette.
to it.
That subconscious ambiance really needs to come through if the game's gonna feel good, I think.
Mhm.
The stuff
Yeah.
that
I
like
agree.
you're not even paying attention to it, but it is making you feel a certain kind of way as you're playing.
Well, I think that's why we're seeing people like start to say that it's looking better. Like I think it's
Mhm.
that literal, subconscious. Like, oh, this actually looks like a vibe I want to get into, and
Mhm.
I think that carried arc rate is for a huge portion. People just like the look of the game and all that. So
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting because, like, for me, it goes back to the whole success thing. And people were just like, dude, it's trash. It's over for Bungie. I'm like, I really don't care. I'm like, I'm going to play this game when it comes out. That doesn't mean I'm going to like it. But the alpha was like decent enough that I was like, yeah, if they polish up a few things, maybe I'll be more interested. But we've talked about it to death in the past over what we thought of the alpha. And yeah, like, it just didn't like hook you. But like, it was okay at moments. You're like,
Mhm.
yeah, there's like maybe something here, and so to me, it's like unsurprising where it's like they had 6 extra months and, a ton of feedback, but like really 6 extra months and like a
I don't
ton
know.
of
I'm more
fire.
critical than you, Fran. Like I felt
Mm.
like the foundation and the alpha was not enough to prove on. And I
I
guess
mean,
I've been wrong in that
how has it
sense. Like
changed though?
I didn't feel like they would have made these improvements in 6 months, and they kind of have proved me wrong in regards to environmental design. It's gonna now come down to like, is that core gameplay loop better
But
than the alpha? Because
but
that's what I didn't feel was great.
yeah, I mean, I hate to challenge it then, but it's like, okay, so you think it looks better, fine, okay. But like what do you see? Because to me, I'm like, you got to play the game. So what is it about the gameplay where you're like, oh, this looks really interesting now? Or is it
Well,
literally it just looks better?
So what's changed my mind a little bit when it comes to the gameplay is because I think we only had 3 classes in the alpha, and now they've
Yeah.
given us all 6.
A lot more, yeah.
So I feel like there is a lot less like rock paper scissors
It's more
of like,
well-rounded.
yeah, like I'm just gonna have this character to counter to counter this, to then pop my super to and it feels like Trials of Osiris kind of deal. So it feels like there's a lot more classes doing a lot more things, which makes it interesting. I also think they've doubled down on like the build crafting, which in my opinion is really unique in the extraction genre, and I haven't seen it done well. And if they can do it well, I feel like that could be a big hook for me. So they're the things I'm looking at gameplay wise, which I'll have to play to see if they feel good.
Yeah.
And I spoke about this in the video I made about it, that if they can nail like build crafting in Destiny is hard enough. Build crafting in a game where you literally lose your build if you die, getting that balance is really, really tough because you can't have
Sure.
stuff that's super broken, but you also can't make it super easy to get or too hard to get. Otherwise, you don't use it and you hoard it. So it's like, how do you get build craft in an extraction shooter? I don't have the answer to it, and we have to play it to see it. But if they can nail that, that is going to be a really big point of sale in the extraction shooter genre.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
Bungie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, sorry, I don't want to sound flippant about it. It's actually just, again, the frustration that goes back to, and I think I take for granted where it's like, dude, I've played so many games like before they're in alpha and then alpha, and like it's just the process. You're just constantly waiting to see the review copy, right? And so my brain is. But let me finish.
Do you think it was the process? Okay, go on.
Yeah, well, actually, this will be interesting. Where it's like, to me, it's sort of like unbelievable because of my brain being trained that way that anyone would think playing a closed alpha test that was, due out in 6 months, but then was delayed another 6 months is somehow, going to have all the improvements that you wanted. In other words, that they're working on the game. So I'm like, why wouldn't we think that they're going to try to improve like PvE elements? They're going to give you more guns. Of course, it's got more than 3 characters, blah, blah.
Because it was
like,
going to release in September. That's why.
Yeah, but you never played the version of that game.
Date was not far off the alpha.
I mean, it was
that's why
at least 4 months away, wasn't it? What was it, April?
I'll have to have a look
June,
when
July.
the
It might have been 4 or 5 months. So we knew the build we played. I'm not trying to be a gotcha, but like you played a version from like January, as far as we know, something like that. And
That's
so
right.
You never played the final game that
yeah.
they even wanted in September. Is my point. So I'm not trying to get a got you on you. It's more just like I think this actually is where it comes from with a bunch of fans, where they're like, "Dude, you let us play the test. This is not that good," and it's like. You run into this problem where it's like, that's why people don't want to let you play the early stuff,
Well, okay, I would challenge that because I feel like it's a little bit disingenuous to call something an alpha 4 months out from release. Alpha stages are years out usually, right?
Alpha is an
I
actual
think calling
internal...
it alpha was part of the marketing play for this exact reason to say, oh, it's only an alpha.
I don't think so. I think it actually was, they were being pressured to release it before they were able, like really ready. And I think it was an alpha. So like,
the reason I'm skeptical of like this being part of the process, and of course stuff was going to change, was the release date was earlier. And it felt like if there weren't going to be these changes. The reason these changes happened is because there was backlash.
Yeah. And by the way, TV and Watts, sorry, I didn't mean to, I told you, I haven't talked to people in like weeks. I'm a little off the rails, and Briar's not here, so don't let me.
And you're right, Fran, to mention that the version that we played when we played the alpha might not have even been the like current in studio version they were working on, because even when we go to capture events, sometimes they'll tell us like, you're going to be, just so you know, you're playing a version of this game. This is like 2 versions ago. This is not the version we're currently working on in-house. So, and that's like just a closed loop of, a dozen people showing up in the studio. That's not trying to ship it out for thousands of people to play across the world like we did with the alpha for Marathon. So who knows how current that version of the game even was. So you do have to like, you're playing something that's probably older. You're kind of doing the math in both directions on the calendar as you're playing it, is what I'm getting at here.
Yeah, and I mean, to get to the point, it's not like what you said was wrong, flat out or anything. It's just I feel like there's a sentiment that people think Bungie, the alpha closed test was like, that's where they were at and what they pretty much had planned for release. And me, I'm like, I don't know why people ever think that, but I do, I guess, understand it better given what you're saying. But you see, that's my only point. And people run with it. Those become the narrative.
Well, this is my rebuttal to it, right? They must have felt good about it to allow it to be a public alpha.
Sure.
I mean, Sony was forcing them to release it.
If you didn't think it was a good product and it was a proper alpha, like it was still in testing phase, you would keep it under NDA.
Remember, it was supposed to be.
I know.
Yeah. So it's a tough. I mean, again,
do
like,
you see what I'm saying from that point of view? Like they felt that it was good enough of a foundation that it just needed polishing, and it was ready. Like that's the impression I get. Like this is good enough for you guys to play publicly, and it needs a bit of polish and this, that, and it's still alpha, still things under change, but like we want you to play it and we're confident in it. That's the impression I got for them releasing an alpha in public testing.
Yeah. I think they had I mean, I know I sound like I'm just defending Bungie at this point, but like I think they had a gun to their head, right? We know what happened with Sony. We know all the potential threats of takeover, the Pete Parsons stuff, and we see the outcome now. But like they were not ready. We saw that in that alpha, and so that's why I'm like, yeah, I don't think they don't want the game to be what was being pushed for September, right? That's my point. Is they wanted to be. They would love even more time, but they've got to go
worked out
before
better
fiscal.
for them for it to go out in that state.
Always.
I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe that was the play. Maybe this is a way of forcing them to get more time from Sony.
Yeah, like Sony, you want us to put it out? All right. Well, let's get community feedback.
I
I don't know about that, but maybe. But anyway, you know, it's more just it is ultimately it's good news. It's got a lot of polish. I'm really just standing up for like, look at how much games can change over. It's probably more like close to a year of development. You know, maybe it's 10 months, or because we knew the build was behind. But look at how much can change. You know, when we're quick to like judge trailers and like we're talking about.
Yeah,
Fable
but
and all
okay,
this
but
stuff
this is what I'm saying to you. Like part of that change, I think, involved people being critical of it. So if you go
How
from
many
the point
Prox
of view
chat,
like
the scav, the solo, the
props
yeah,
chat
you know.
and solo probably.
Yeah, yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like if you go from every alpha and test and be like, no, like, you know, like give it a chance and almost be like super positive, optimistic about it, like you kind of miss out on this critical phase that can actually really help a game.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's what's interesting about Bungie is they've had to take it on the chin so much since Destiny. I don't know if they felt like we were talking about with the alpha, if they felt like, look, it's probably better just to get feedback now because we got to go out the door. But yeah, my main thing was that I mean, of course, that's valuable. I'm glad that we have community feedback, but again, they were going to do a lot of this in closed alpha, and so. Yeah, under NDA, and so it sort of changed into this game's dead on arrival. That's really all that I was getting at is that I don't know. I'm less surprised that it's looking better. That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't know if I'll like the game even. I'm just like, yeah, it looks better. It should. It's been almost a year. So and you know, given Highguard in the conversation here, like let's just say it's got a bunch of problems at release. But if it's good at its core, I mean, I hope they get a year to clean things up, but see.
Yeah, I mean, we're all going to play it. We're all going to play. And I did an interesting experiment. I interviewed people in Arc Raiders, obviously being an extraction shooter. I went in and like asked people in the game if they'd play Marathon, and overwhelmingly, the average gamer had not heard of Marathon. Like every single person I asked were like, "What's that?" And it was kind of a. And then my second question was, is this your first extraction shooter? And many people were like, yes. A friend recommended it to me. And like, because we all do podcasts, we all make content, and we're on stream. Like, you kind of forget the average game is just kind of going with the flow when stuff
just
becomes
vibing,
popular.
yeah.
They're just vibing, like, and that's, you know, Marathon's next. Some people who had heard of it was like, I need to open beta. I need to test it again to see if this is worth my money. Otherwise, I'm not going to jump ship from an extraction shooter I'm already enjoying to do something that's probably going to be PvP focused as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting.
Can I give you some cold, hard facts?
Hit me.
So they are doing an open beta, whatever you want to call it,
An alpha.
free
Alpha,
before
probably.
it comes
I'm pretty
out.
sure it's just a test.
Yeah, it's just it's gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be like the weekend before, but it's gonna be like before release, so you can see if you like the game. Also, I would, before we get super late, and it is already really late, I would like to just touch on the voice talent. Speaking of our graders,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, Briar, type in chat if you need us to close up shot at the time, but yeah.
But the voice talent, but no, serious. The voice talent that they have in here is a list that I would be flabbergasted to see in a single player, like, massive RPG. And this is for a multiplayer game. And you have Neil Newbin, who is Astarion in Baldur's Gate. Jennifer English, we all know at this point.
Yeah.
Roger Clark, who's
Ben
Arthur
Starr.
Morgan. Bad Star is in there. You've got Morla's in here. Shout out Morla.
Morla,
Eris
yep.
Morn. Good old Morla. You have basically the entire cast of Claire Obscura in here. You've got people
Really?
from people from Overwatch. You've got
Charlie
characters
Cox.
from League of Legends. You've got characters from Ghost of Yote, Arcane. Like the list
Wait,
is
who from
crazy.
Arcane?
Silco. So the voice for Silco, who is Jason Spisak.
Okay.
And Kino, Keston John.
So if you don't know the
it's
backstory, the reason there's a jab at Arc Raiders here is Arc Raiders uses AI for well, they say for their ping system and for like Hull Cracker over here and some of their in-game dialogue essentially. But honestly, a lot of it feels AI from the AI. Like it's one of my greatest criticisms of Arc Raiders. The environment is so wicked and the hub world is soulless. The vendors and even the cutscenes are just quite awful, to be honest, considering how much polish the rest of the game has. And
Yeah,
I
it's
think
weird.
this will be an advantage, big time advantage for Marathon. If once again, another really big point of difference in an extraction game, if they can have story and lore and gameplay elements, because it's something that's often really missing in these games. And people don't super care about it, but if Bungie can make people care about this kind of stuff, really early on, when they first started talking about Marathon, like the very early announcements, they would talk about the world of Marathon. They would talk about evolving like maps and like things that told the story throughout the weeks and seasons and stuff like that. So I don't know if that's still something that's on the cards, but with the voice talent there, they obviously could do something like that.
I mean, I think they will get some of that because the starting point with the Destiny community that's going to jump in, but then you have Destiny PvP players that if they weren't burned too much, probably are looking for some Bungie stuff like this. That I mean, you kind of got a kickstart on that support that other games
I
would not
think
have.
people ask you like, what's the what are you going to use the voice talent for? What I think you can use it for is all these extraction games will have missions that take you out to like points of interest, right? And like Arc Raiders does this a little bit. Like it will take you to like the water treatment plant and try to like invoke some story around like pollution of the water and someone's been doing this and like investigate this certain thing. It's not done super well, but I think you could do stuff in the environment and your vendors and your factions, send you out on certain missions to go and have a look at this area and they can incorporate it that way, right? The only thing is you got other people shooting you while you're trying to do
I think
some
it's
sort
all
of
just
story mission.
It's all just making you more invested in the world and the vendors. And I think the big thing for me and with Arc Raiders is I was like, I don't care about any of these characters or these people or anything. So why do I care about collecting 15 wires to help out the people at the base? So I think if they can make you care about the factions and you're like, I'm a diehard, this faction, and it can really help flesh out that world. I think it does have a lot to offer for that kind of game because the environments and the audio and the weather and all of that can be so engrossing for you as a player. But yeah, I think if they can nail that, it would be really good.
Yeah, I didn't catch the number of voice actors, but I would keep in mind, right? It's like, well, you have like, I think it's something like 7 runners and then there's Rook or something like that. But then you got the factions and there's like 6 of those, which is already a pretty big list if they decided to have all of those be unique actors. But then you've got
there's 33 listed. There's 33 like famous, very well-known voice actors listed.
Yeah, and that's interesting, right? Because if you're only at 13 or whatever, and some of these might even be DLC runners, right? Like we may not even know if they're even in the game yet. So yeah, that's a lot of voices.
See. I hope they use them very well.
Here in the number watts, yeah. I'm like, wait a second, yeah, that's interesting. It could be a lot of.
I'm telling you, it's a
storytelling
cast
and other stuff
that I saw, and I was like, if this was like a cast for Baldur's Gate, like the next Baldur's Gate or Divinity, I'd go, damn, that's crazy. They got everybody. But for this being for Marathon. Wow.
I mean, I guess also you got PvE enemies and, Morla has famously even done like the screams for, Hive and witches or whatever. And,
True.
But still, regardless, it's super exciting.
Before we go, I just want to do a quick touch on Cult of the Lamb Woolhaven came out today. It is their first ever massive paid expansion. It adds so much stuff. It's how much is it? $17. And yeah, it's really good. It adds a whole weather system. So now winter hits and you have to now deal with different ways to get your food, and you have to keep your villages warm, and you have to cook different things. And they add a whole new section of the map where now you can do like ranching. There's different mini games, there's different villagers, there's different weapons, there's different curses, there's different buildings. It's basically like playing Cult of the Lamb again on top of Cult of the Lamb. It's really, 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 really good. Banging music.
Yeah, it looks sounds
just
great.
incredible. I mean, it's already on like, overwhelmingly positive on Steam. It's one of those games that's just incredible. Highly recommend. Also, there's a Twitch drop right now where you can get a little Lammy icon for your chat badge.
Oh, really?
You guys will be
I
after
got
that
one
one,
from
yeah.
watching you.
Oh yeah, we got it.
The
I got it.
lambs.
Oh, that is a good lamb.
Yep, the little Lammy
Nice.
face.
Oh,
Little
Lammy.
Lammy face.
It's called Lammy.
Yep,
Oh, it is called Lammy.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of cute.
very cute.
So we haven't heard from Briar in a while. Are we just gonna do some outro and he's just gonna cut it, or what's happening?
I'm assuming that
Yeah,
he's
I think so.
around. Yeah.
I think he's just listening. He's like,
He's like, when are they gonna shut up?
Oh, also the Code Vein 2 character creator is out. So if you're interested in making your character with that insane character creator, it is officially out. You can check that out.
Copy that.
Well, thank you guys all for joining us. We'll be back next week, which we would have played Highguard. Next week, Highguard on deck, baby. Code
Join us
Vein will
for
already be out. Neo
the
3
birth-
demo is out. By the way, the Neo 3 demo is at least 15 hours if you're exploring. You see. demo.
Join us for the birth and the funeral of Highguard next week.
Gonna be a big
Right.
episode.
Right?
Well, you're hoping it's gonna live, Mylan, so you can play it.
True.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.